All right, guys. So sometimes when I'm in different cities, what I'll do is I will meet with people that I've met online. And today, what is your channel called?
Western Culture Through God's Eyes.
And I wanted to come here because you guys are like literal historians. So how did you guys get into this stuff?
History, the red pill.
Yeah.
All of it. Well, I had a great history teacher, my freshman year of high school in 2002, and I was self-taught from there. With the red pill, it started out with my mom. Like my mom was like really toxic and wasn't being fair and wasn't doing her end of the traditional 50s gender role, but my dad was like way back in the 80s and 90s. And so I was wondering if anyone was ever going to talk about it online, and they eventually did, in the 2010s area, but not very much. And so now they're finally talking about it, such as with Pearl Daily.
Yeah. So we messaged a bit online. That's how I met you guys. They're literally awesome. And yeah, we're gonna have a conversation, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
So,
isn't it mostly Black people that have this religion? Because I feel like I've heard of it,
yeah.
But it's like Africa or something.
Fair, yeah. The Black Hebrew Israelites, yeah.
I don't know if I'm right or I could be wrong. I'm just.
So yeah, I actually wasn't looking for this at all. I didn't know about this. I was just, everyone around me just taught the traditional Christian message. I found out about it through YouTube, through Rob Skiba, and he had a huge channel. He died actually. He got COVID, and then he didn't die from COVID. The hospital killed him. Actually, they starved him to death over 40 days.
What?
Yep. But he actually introduced me to it. So I found about it out online. It's like a huge movement. Like everyone around the world is independently finding out about it, just connecting on the internet. So yeah, basically it's really nuanced. And that's why we have a whole channel dedicated to understanding the Bible, like a billion seminars on it. And that's like the only way that you'd be able to process it. It'll take a while to sink in, but
I've watched a decent amount of you guys' videos.
Really?
Yeah, I 2x them.
Awesome.
Not all, but I've seen a couple. So it's basically...
So we believe in the entire Bible, right? Okay. Genesis to Revelation. We believe in the Messiah, right? Mm-hmm. But come to find out, his name in our language is Joshua. They didn't even preserve his name correctly, right?
Really?
Yeah, so in Hebrew, it was Yehoshua, and in Aramaic, it's Yeshua, and Greek, it's Yeshua. And in English is Joshua. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so they didn't even preserve his name correctly. But yeah, so come to find out, all the people in the Bible were what we would call Messianic Jews today. None of them were Christians. Okay. Adam in Genesis, all the way to John in Revelation, they were all Messianic Jews. So there's a bunch of titles you could say Messianic Jew. So that's like a distinction.
Stop and go traffic.
It's such a shame because Talmudic Jews went astray too. So this is not Talmudic Judaism, right?
Okay.
Messianic Judaism. So Hebrew is a acceptable term. Israel, the Way, that's what they call themselves. They call themselves the Way, a sect of Judaism, actually in the New Testament.
Okay.
Nazarene, and then of course there's a bunch of miscellaneous terms like saints, the brother and the elect, the righteous. So these are all terms they use for themselves, but Christian was not a term that they ever used for themselves. So the first people to call them that was in Antioch. It was Romans that weren't a part of the biblical faith that called them Christians. They meant it as an insult. And then the Christian title movement actually got started in 80 AD. So once all the disciples had died, some new second generation Roman converts called the Didache created a whole new religion called Christianity. And they just saw the Jews get slaughtered. And the Jewish Roman revolt in 66 to 73 AD. And so the new Roman converts, they were like, whoa, being a Jew is unpatriotic. Being a Jew is bad. Being a Jew gets me killed. I'm not willing to die for my faith. Plus, my fellow Roman neighbors will never accept a Jewish book, a Jewish religion. So but we do like some of the concepts in the Bible. Let's blend the Bible in with our current Greek-Roman religion, with Zeus. And then out came Christianity. And that's what's been passed on throughout the world for 2,000 years.
That's when it became more matriarchal. Because I watched the video that you sent me where it was the triangle, where it was it's always just going back to matriarchy at its core. So is that what it became then when they made that new religion, a matriarchy?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, goddess worship has always been around. It's actually the first story of the Bible, right? You will be like Adam. You will be as God. You will empower yourself. You will raise yourself up. And there were a lot of religions you know, this image of like a father and then a mother and then their son, and it started in Nimrod and Tammuz, and the Zoroastrian religion has this, the Greek religion has this with Zeus and the mother of Hercules. I can't remember her name right now, but they've adapted this divine feminine essence. I mean, look at Athens. Athens is named after Athena. Like, they have all sorts of female deities. And I love how Jolie points out, like, the Pax Romana. And, you know, one of Christian's favorite authors is Paul. And he's one of the most patriarchal authors in the Bible. And the reason he was addressing feminism so heavily was because it was the Pax Romana. And feminism can only be manufactured at an era of peace.
Right.
So that's what we're in. We're in the Pax Americana right now. And so it needs to be addressed as well. And there was a lot of female deification over thousands of years, basically, throughout the, you know, Mediterranean.
So how long have you guys been, like, practicing this?
So for me, I first discovered it in 2014. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's about 10 years.
No way. Then, that's a long time.
So check this out. Like, Lior, do you want to tell me your background, how you were raised?
So, yeah,
so neither of us were raised with this. You know, we just actually, you know, or actually just me, I taught Lior. I was just one of the few people that actually cared about the truth and willing to do the studying, which takes effort for most people don't want to do. And then I found out, oh my gosh, that, you know, the majority has not passed on the truth. You know, like, you know, go ahead, sweetie.
So I was raised I was born in the States, and my mom's Israeli, so I was raised in Israel from the age of 2 to 11, and then I came back to the States. So I was raised secular atheist Jew, which a lot of people are coming out for, like, that's how they would describe it. You know, it's kind of like a virtue signal card. It's the same way that Christians say, yo, I'm a Christian, here's my card. Okay, here's my Jew card. But they don't actually, like, observe, believe, practice. They're atheists.
So
they're
did
secular.
you grow up in Israel then? I mean, you said, I think you told me that one.
So yeah. I was raised there until the age of 11, and then I did middle school and high school in the States.
And you said, like, no one's religious there. Not really.
It's like
It's like here.
It's like here.
Okay.
It's a secular state. So when people are like, the Jews run Israel, like, no, guys, it's a secular state. They're feminist. They're some of the most feminist people there. They have the second biggest gay parade in the world over there. They're, you know, you can't legally you don't have homosexual marriage legal on the paper, but tons of gays, you know, tons of feminists, like, they don't have any penalty for this type of behavior, so they're thereby not biblical. They're not technically Jewish, and what has basically swept over what people now understand as mainstream Judaism is like this Talmudic Leibovitz sect, where they all like have kind of funny dress and weird customs that aren't found anywhere in the Bible. It's an extra book outside of the Bible that they call the Oral Law, but they actually elevate it to equal or even more importance than the Bible itself. And that's, you know, so the Christians, they take away a lot from the Bible, but the Jews add a lot.
That the Talmudic Jews went astray, right? Like, they used to be the right religion and they went astray the last 2,000 years.
Was this after Jesus? Like, after Jesus, the Talmudic Jews went astray, or the?
Well, so they were doing something that was Talmud before.
Okay.
Right. So the Talmud came around in 800 AD, so way after the Bible, right?
Okay.
The Bible, like, John wrote Revelation either in 60 AD or 95 AD, depending on, like,
Maybe can you raise your voice a little bit?
Yeah. It's not loud enough back there.
Well, he's also recording.
Oh, epic. Yeah, I didn't know if that was the case or not. Sweet. Can you pass me the beer?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so many fascinating things, but
he doesn't have to if you guys don't want.
No, do it, absolutely. No, go for it. Awesome. No,
and we just roll bits and bits and bits. I see.
No, it's fantastic. It's great. Okay,
Most
so
people will never hear this anywhere.
the Talmud is a 6,400 page book that started to get written by the rabbis in 800 AD. So 700 years after the Bible. So we're not supposed to do that, right? So you're not supposed to add or subtract from the Bible, right?
It's just supposed to be like by itself.
Yeah, so that's what the Jews and the Christians have done. So the funny thing is the Talmudic Jews would consider us Christians because we accept Matthew to Revelation, right? The renewed covenant, the Messiah. And then Christians consider us Jews because we actually read and believe and apply the first 85% of the Bible, you know, Genesis to Malachi, which they don't. But so just like the Talmudic Jews went astray, our point is that the Christians did too. The Catholics did too, just like the Talmudic Jews. You know, nobody was a Catholic or a Greek Eastern Orthodox Protestant or I'm sorry, a Greek.
How do you know, like, because what's really confusing to me is like, so many people feel like they have their right. You know, everyone thinks their religion's right, and they all like everyone thinks they have the one true, like literally everyone.
Right.
And they'll all show me they're like scholars and this is the real document.
You're just defending what they were raised with.
Yeah, fair enough. We all are. Fair enough. But
yeah.
my question is, how do you know the documents you're looking at are correct versus like theirs? Because what they'll do is they'll show me some church document and be like, this is right. And then, you know, so I'm just curious, how do you filter through all the bullshit, like from your point of view?
Right, that's circular reasoning, you know. Okay, so two things, like you have to like study scripture, right? Like your whole life, slowly, you know, as often as you can, you know, taking notes with fresh eyes, looking for stuffs in there that you weren't taught, you know. And the second thing is you have to study history, right? Like history helps so much. Like you won't even understand what you're reading a lot of the times. Like you won't understand where it takes place in the timeline. You won't understand where it takes place in the map. And then you won't understand what transpired over the last 2,000 years, you know, unless you study history too. So these are two things that most people don't like to do, right? They don't like to read the Bible. It's like old and ancient and dry and black and white, and they don't like to study history because they think it's boring and dry too. I think it's fascinating.
So yeah,
they want to watch Marvel.
Question about history, because you go to the schools, they teach you history wrong.
17
Yeah.
They don't teach it all,
Well,
you know?
like I'll even think of like how they taught us slavery, right? Like I couldn't believe what slavery was actually like when I started reading historical accounts from like it was like the 1920s. They basically asked slaves to describe what slavery was like, and I couldn't believe how many of them had positive. I got canceled for this. Now I don't give a shit. But they because how many actually had positive interactions with their owners and like had good. Like I was like, what? And so my question for you is like, if you go to the like, how do you know what books are telling you the truth?
Well, so yeah. The more you study, like you'll be able to read between the lines. You know, like I actually talked about this in Human Migration and Secular History Proves the Bible. So, you know, the mainstream theory is evolution, which literally just got made up 170 years ago. And not only is it unlikely, but it is impossible to take place. So they teach 3 billion years ago that it torrentially rained on the rocky surface of the earth, and that created life. The chemical soup, the first single-celled organism, that's impossible. Rain and rocks doesn't create life. Doesn't matter how much time you give it, that's never going to happen. Rain and rock doesn't equal life, right? So not only is it unlikely, it's impossible. So that's why they're so desperate to bring in this alien theory. Like, oh, well, the aliens seeded the chemical soup flatula, then it went from there, right? So it's really ridiculous, but, oh yeah, this is Harper's Ferry. Are you guys familiar?
Yeah.
This was this is a very strategic point in the Civil War.
Wow.
Yeah. This is like where three rivers meet and like the railroads supply. There was a battle here. Yep. Harper's Ferry.
I can see why the settlers came and annihilated everyone for this area. I can see why.
So.
Okay, sorry. Keep going though.
Oh no, it's fine. So like
left.
In Greece, that's a real date, right? So anytime that they're like fudging these huge numbers and it's not specific, it's because it's made up. You know, it's so crazy. Like,
why do you think they make it up? Just like.
To support like their religion of atheism. So like it didn't happen, it's not true, you have to believe in it, you have to take it on faith, that's a religion, you know. So if they find data, and I have a little trailer linking to what I think is the best documentary on evolution, debunking it. It's called Evolution Debunked, and it links you to Ken Hovitt's video, Lies in the Textbooks. So it's not an orchestrated conspiracy. That's why it's so ingenious, you know. Like people that are inclined, like they don't like the Bible because the Bible has rules and it says if you don't follow the rules you go to hell, right? So that offends everybody. So they're like, oh, so I would like to believe the Bible's not true, so I don't have to be convicted by that reality. And you know, so that's the internal motivation. So it's called volitional reasoning. So it's when you're like emotionally inspired to believe something false, and that's corrupt, you know. So, but.
Okay, so one way you do it is you look for specific dates.
Yeah.
And so if it's real, it'll have like, so even with those slavery documents, when I was reading them, they had specific dates that they took them on from like the ex-slaves. Like that'd be an example.
Right. Yeah. I would say they didn't start revising history like that until the 60s.
Right.
So basically, you have to be pretty like analytical about anything written from the 1960s on, and everything before that is much more trustworthy. Like they're just telling you how it is. There's not much bias in there at all. So, but yeah. So on human migration, I show that this book says that the earliest civilization started in northern Mesopotamia. Well, why would that be? You know, that's because that's where Noah got off the ark. Noah got off the ark right above that at Mount Ararat. You know, that only makes sense if the biblical chronology is true. That doesn't make sense if evolution is true. So if evolution is true, they said that Lucy was like the first like hybrid between a chimpanzee and a human. And so that was like in Ethiopia. So if evolution is true, civilization should have started down there.
Or in Ethiopia.
Yeah. Or all around the world at the same time. It didn't. It only started one place in the world, and that was northern Mesopotamia. And that makes no sense unless the biblical account is true.
That's the Middle East.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
thank you. That's what I was thinking.
Mesopotamia is like modern day Syria. Modern day Syria is where they have like all the archaeology. And archaeology is another great witness to history and you know,
the area we're talking about is like eastern Turkey and like northern Iraq.
Okay.
So
that's the earliest civilization, and you think that's where Noah got off the ark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So he landed on Mount Ararat, and the only logical place to go
because of the flood, and because of the flood, there wouldn't have been remnants of stuff before that.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Fine.
Exactly. So everything that happened in the pre-flood world, and I actually have like a timeline now that like most people in church, I mean, they don't teach anything in church, right?
Right.
So
they don't.
So I was like, you know what? I really want to know specifics. It should be knowable, and I think if I study enough, I think I'll be able to find it. So. I started studying in 2013, and I put together like all the dates going all the way back to creation and the flood, you know, etc., all the way to when Solomon died.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's in timeline. We do a timeline.
So in the historians, like in the Bible, it talks about like these people called the Hittites, and there was never any evidence of the Hittites, and so historians see like, well, look, this is a wonderful piece of evidence about why the Bible is false. There are no people called the Hittites. We don't have any archaeological evidence of that. And lo and behold,
what are Hittites?
It's like a tribe of people. It was a nation. It was a nation that the Hebrews had to battle against.
It was an empire.
And the Egyptians. Yeah. Okay. Modern day Turkey is where the Hittites were. And so they said, oh, they don't exist. And lo and behold, many years later, they discovered remnants underground of like Hittite history and Hittite archaeology. So archaeology is another great, and human migration are both great witnesses to the story of the Bible and all other Joel's been studying this for decades, but I'm like catching up because schools don't teach us anything. Like I've learned more in 3 years under Joel than I've learned my entire 18 years. And
most women would too if they just listened to their husband.
For sure.
Yeah. They just don't care. That's the thing.
Right.
It's like women just don't care about this stuff, right? They want to have like just good vibes, feelings. Like they're just not brainy. They're like, well, why does it matter what happened in the past? And I have no idea what's gonna happen in the future. So I guess how we should live right now is just however you want.
So the general rule is that you need 3 witnesses, 2 to 3 witnesses, like 3 different people talking about the same event.
Yeah,
there can be variety, but they're talking the core, the foundation of what they're talking about is true. So like in regards to the newer testaments, the renewed covenant, like they're telling the same story, but there is some variety. And so people like that is actually more reliable. Like when the same story is being told by 3 different people identically, they're like, well, this is kind of suspicious because this doesn't really happen in real life. Like for them to have exact same accounts, there's usually some variety. People's brain is a little fudgy. What, baby? So 3 witnesses. The reason I bring this up is that's another way that you can understand what the Bible is teaching. And so the Bible is like a consistent message. But what
we have another great promo for the Exodus. Links you to like an Amazon documentary from 2015 called Patterns of Evidence. The Exodus, and they found evidence for the entire story from like Joseph being like the vice president in Egypt, all the way to Goshen, where they settled for so long, to where they crossed the Red Sea. We know exactly where they crossed at the Gulf of Aqaba, and that's just to the right of the Sinai Peninsula. And we found Mount Sinai has been found a long time ago. The mountain is burnt. It's the only mountain that's burned on top because the fire of the Father, God, you. And so all this stuff has been found. Like Solomon erected 2 pillars on either side of the crossing to show exactly where it took place.
Really?
Yeah. So this documentary, it's
You said it's burned. A mountain's burned.
yeah. You know the story of the Exodus?
No,
When you
sorry.
got-
Sorry, some of these stories are like you might remind me if I hear them. But
Okay.
that's what I was taking back with like my Michael Knowles interview and like even Trent Horn. It's just so because what'll happen is they'll put some study in front of me that I just know isn't true. But I have to like I can't tell you why it's not true because it's like I'm in a debate. I don't know what study you're talking about, but I know if I dig down, there's some catch. There's always a catch.
Mm-hmm.
And it never would make sense as to why these guys are like why do they want to simp so bad?
I know.
I
It's
would
crazy. It's like their religion. Like, you know, like I just made a post. I made a post with like 50 points, and it said women are men's god. Like they treat women as their god. It's crazy. Like,
well, and so when I was in the interview, it's like they don't really have truth as the motivation. It's just they want to be right, look good, and get clips.
yeah.
And that's what I realized. I didn't understand. I thought it was a good thing the Daily Wire they didn't edit anything, and I was like, good, that's better. But what I realized they do is they are the only ones allowed to pull clips, and they know most people won't watch the full interview. And that's how they try to that's what I realized. I don't care, whatever, because I think like the more you talk, the truth will come out eventually. But that's what I realized. They all just want to make money and like look good.
Yeah.
And they want to almost like be a preacher and tell everyone how to live, you know? Where I kind of think people have to figure it out for themselves. I don't know, especially men. Like I think they naturally do the right thing, or women naturally do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But I get so confused because they'll put studies in front of me that they know isn't true, and then I don't even look, and I find a guy from Michael Knowles' church community that got wrecked and divorced. I'm like, you do know this is going on, you know? I'm like,
Right.
why are you
crazy.
playing pretend?
Yeah. It's
for money.
It's absolutely crazy. The guys at the top totally sold out all of the men below them, right? Starting with like the 20, you know, and like
Voting.
yeah, exactly. They totally sold them out. It's horrible because they're not affected the way that the rest of the men are.
Yes, that's what I was trying to explain to them. I'm like, coal miners, factory workers, those are the guys that get screwed. It's like the average military men. They get it the worst. And I'm like, you guys don't even, you're like, yeah, screw you, the guys that serve our country.
Yeah.
Good luck with these whores. It's
Yeah,
your
exactly.
fault.
Yeah, because like a woman treating a man badly, like in a marriage, his wife, the two of his kids, that is a life ruiner. You know, it's a life ruiner. So for the rich guys, it's not, but for all the rest of the men, it is a life ruiner. You know, like I said, like we have 50,000 suicides a year in this country. 80% of those are men, and it's exactly because women used, abused, and discarded them, stole their children, stole their money, and so they're like, wow, and no one stands up for them, not Republicans,
No.
not guys in the church, and so.
Well, even Tim Pool, I didn't say this on there, but Tim Pool, he said, "Oh, it's the man's fault, basically, if he gets divorced." Right. And I thought, but they're so ignorant.
That's the most offensive
they're
thing
so
ever.
ignorant.
Yeah.
His driver is paying $17,700 a month. Hasn't seen his kid in 5 years. He was ex-military, married a military woman, and which red flag, a lot. And then. And I'm like, and the way he was describing his life, I'm like, he was living in poverty basically because of this chick. You know, I mean, you know how expensive that is? $1,700. Like, that is so much money.
Yeah. You know, it's really funny. Like Tim Pool, for being so baby crazy, he doesn't have any babies. Like he talks like a woman, and I was like, he is so excited. This is like the most women he's ever been around in his life. I was just like, I was like, this is a. He is simpish. He has simpish tendencies, and you know it's really tough. Like you really have to catch yourself and course correct yourself while you're talking to notice this. But like he was having a very gynocentric leaning language, blaming the men again for not finding the right woman, and Joel will talk about that later, but again, women can't be accountable.
He's gonna, if I had to predict, I think he's gonna be a target because he's too blue.
How old is he?
Absolutely.
I think he's mid-30s. I actually get the sense that he genuinely wants to figure out what's true. I think he'll get red-pilled. I just think he's not there yet.
Oh yeah, he's very blue-pilled.
Like, I don't get the same, like, Michael Knowles, I get more of the sense it's, like, money. But, like, Tim Pool, I get the sense he is motivated by finding out what's true. But I would guess domineering mother. Like, that's my guess.
Yeah.
I think he just doesn't know.
Yeah. Bro, the same thing that they're doing you on videos, they've done this to me my entire life. I started noticing talking about this stuff way back when I was a kid, like, around 1999. And they say the same stuff then that they say now. Like, they're totally projecting and gaslighting and lying, and like they have all these ulterior motives. So anyway, you are the best person in space. So yeah, thank God for you. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you. Well, I just was trying to figure out what was true.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't
you have courage and you got work ethic, like every day,
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great job.
Exactly. And nobody else is doing it at all, or they're not doing it as well, and it's a quagmire, as you've seen. Like, everyone attacks you, right? All the women just are in a sexist, misandrous alliance attack you. We're making them look bad for calling them out, for exposing them. And then you have at least half the men that are beta simps that join them as well, So you're going to at least have 75% of the population attack you if you literally just tell the basic truth that everyone knew for 6,000 years of history, that we've gone full retard only in the last 64 years. So I know that, so that's older than any of us. So it's like, oh yeah, this has been around forever. It's such a short period of time. Like, literally, my parents were born before this. Like, my mom was born in 1946. And so the stuff wasn't as bad when she was born. She was actually raised old school, but she totally adopted all the feminist everything. She wouldn't say that, but she did. So
I've heard from feminists in England that feminism was stronger in like the 60s and 70s. So a lot of the women will say, oh, it wasn't like that in my time, but I have had a good amount of people saying that, like, people are less well, they're at least less, maybe, I don't know how to put it. I'm sure the women act more feminist now in terms of their life choices, but I think there's more conversations about not being a feminist now than there was in the 60s, allegedly, according to, like, Erin Pizzey.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who that is, but
I don't.
She's like an 80-year-old men's rights activist.
Oh, wow.
Chick. Like, she's old. She's like, yeah.
Good for her. So they were, because men had created such a safe and luxurious environment for women after World War II, right? Notice it didn't pop up before then. That gave women the environment to pretend, right? Like you say, living in a Sims world, pretend. So they started talking about that in the 60s, and then it was full blown in the 70s, and then it was a disaster. All kinds of horrible things happened because of that. Like, everything across the board. Like, we had the worst economy we had since the Great Depression because of Jimmy Carter, the worst presidents we've ever had. And so, women weren't getting married. There were single moms, etc. Like, we had, when someone's raised by a single mom, women go into sex work, either officially or unofficially, and guys join gangs, or they just become complete beta simps. Like, they become men that women don't want. So we're like, you know what? We've had enough of this shit for 20 years. So Ronald Reagan came in, and the church came in, hey, we should be conservative again, like the 50s and the 40s. Mm-hmm. So we had a resurgence of conservative movement in the 80s and the 90s, but Pandora's box was open, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't quite like the 50s and 40s, right? It was like a combo, 40s, 50s, plus some 60s and 70s, depending on the person. And in the 2000s, we started flirting with the same freaking ideas. I was in school during this time, so we started flirting with all of these ideas that we're now doing, and then we went right back to the 70s and 2010s and 2020s. So,
so it almost was drawn back a little bit in the 2000s. You're saying?
Yeah, in the 80s and the 90s, it was a more traditional time.
Okay.
Yep, and then even in the early 2000s, and then.
So my parents met, I think, in the 80s or 90s. My dad really liked that time. He said.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
That's where my childhood was. I was born in 1988.
Yeah.
So-
Jolie's shocked about America today. It's like a totally different country to where he grew up in.
How old are you guys?
I'm 36.
36.
And I'll be 30 in June.
And okay, so
Here we are. We are home.
so you guys are on a military base.
Yep. So.
Like,
Are you familiar
I
with that?
couldn't.
Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Can you pause?
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks.
I couldn't believe. I didn't know the references he was making to the Jewish stuff back then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's right or that's true, but I'm saying like, do you know all the like? Because I was saying that Jewish people were the most oppressed, and he was saying something like. I can't remember what he said, but I knew he was referencing something that like the people on Twitter talk about now.
Yeah. Well,
Back then back then I didn't understand it. I was like, what?
Right. Well, here's the thing about
The Jews.
I just spell it with Joo. Like, these people, like, just because somebody has a Hebraic last name doesn't mean they're Jewish. Like, Judaism, it's a practice, it's a walk. You know, you're not born Catholic. You're raised Catholic. You observe Catholic, whatever. You know, you're not born, like, the whole purpose of the genealogy in Judaism was to direct people to the Messiah. But nobody can trace their lineage back to Jacob or Abraham. Like, you can't do it. So, Judaism is practice. And so just because somebody has a Hebrew last name of some kind doesn't mean they're observers of that faith. Like, if, you know, the elite, they talk about the Cabal, but the Cabal is just the elite people. They're very wealthy people, and they're not Jewish, they're Satanists. And I think it's actually like an agenda to taint the name of like the Hebrew people. Like, people just don't know what Jews are. They think it's a race, but it's a faith. So you can say, I'm a Jew, but you're secular, you're a lesbian, you're a feminist. No, you're not, right? So
first, what time do you guys want to be at the airport? So
How far away are we from the airport?
an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. At the most, a little bit less, like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not figured.
So, what time is your flight on? I think we were. Is this airport busy usually, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably busiest ones in the world. Yeah.
517.
What do you guys recommend? I mean, you guys are from here.
We depart.
It's just to Dallas, right?
Yeah,
Like-
just to Dallas. We're not checking.
517.
Yeah,
Is when
it's
our flight is.
5:17 flight. We're not
And no checking your bags. Oh my gosh, gotcha. So you guys could arrive at the last minute and be fine. But like,
just to be safe.
if you
So we
like,
start boarding in
Yeah.
4 hours 16 or 4:42 p.m. That's boarding.
44:42. Okay, so we got you guys like there an hour and a half early. You get through the whole thing in less than 30 minutes. You'll be waiting for
Yeah, that's
it.
fine.
So that'd be plenty of time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Especially not checking in your bags. So, okay.
Oh, and I wanna get a caramel latte from Starbucks.
yeah. Sure. We love Starbucks too. Yeah, we're all about
That's
Starbucks. We
what
actually
I'm
have Starbucks coffee here. Starbucks espresso.
yeah, it's always Starbucks beans.
Let's see.
So-
Three. Okay, so we'll like do it by 3:15. So we'll like leave it 2:15.
Okay, that's fine.
So
And then we can just film here and yeah. Okay, I'm fine. He's got a boom mic, so it's pretty. That's
Yeah, so I can hear everything
Yeah.
practically. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our little library. Used to be bigger in the past. Mostly got left behind.
You gotta film the map over
Yeah.
there. I thought
Uh-huh.
I'm a visual person, so this is really helpful because
Awesome. Good.
flood, pre-world flood.
So yeah, we actually have like printouts here too. For convenience.
Oh wow.
Yep. So
Yes.
so this right here goes from here to
Wow.
to here. So this is a blow up of here to here.
Okay. Let me see. And so you. Okay. So is this all the Old Testament?
Yeah. Yep.
And so this
here-
is all up to Jesus, basically.
No, not quite that far. You got
Okay.
like so you got creation in the garden right here.
Okay.
This is all based on the way we keep time, BC. So why this is cool is I've never seen this before. You know, specifics, and then it goes all the way to Saul, David, and Solomon.
Okay.
And the reason why I kept it just for this time frame, didn't do the whole thing. The rest of the dates aren't disputed up to Solomon's death, but all of these dates are disputed. That's why I thought it was really interesting. Like essentially, like these dates to here, this whole thing is unknown, and so that's why I thought it was really interesting to put it together.
Oh. And so all of these dates have they have specific dates and they have 3 historical accounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are the historical accounts from different people?
Mm-hmm.
And are they all from the Bible, or are they from other places too?
So the only dates that we can get are like from here to here would be obviously
The Bible.
biblical sources,
Yeah.
right? But then from here on out, they can be from secular sources.
Okay.
So secular historians would be incorrect on any date before this date right here, 2234.
Okay.
So any date before that from secular history is going to be made up. It's going to be wrong, you know.
Okay.
So
And so like let's just take the Tower of Babel.
Mhm.
There's like other sources for the Tower of Babel outside of the Bible.
yeah. Now obviously, interesting thing, like it actually lasted a long time. It lasted all the way to like the life of Joshua. So it's a third of it still existed all the way up to here. Now it doesn't exist anymore. So they said a third of it was sunken like with an earthquake. They said a third of it was destroyed by lightning from Jasher, book of Jasher.
Okay.
A third of it was destroyed by lightning from God from heaven, and then a third of it was like left as like evidence for it. But people took that building material and they used it to build other buildings.
Okay.
Like just like with Rome. Like Rome is just ruins. You know, it's not
Right.
anything like it was. It's
Right.
totally destroyed because like when the Germanic barbarians came in, they took that material to build other stuff.
Germanic barbarian.
Yeah.
You guys talk about stuff like I do not know history. You know what's crazy? I think I have a better understanding of history than most people, like the average American, and you're still talking about stuff I would not know.
Well, yeah, they don't teach it. You know, like
It's really confusing. It's really confusing because
So-
there's so many. There's so many.
Jeremiah, do you want a chair?
Yeah.
Awesome. You want a tall one or do you want a shorter, comfy blue chair?
Either really, because even if I'm like,
Cool.
yeah, any works.
Yeah.
Any of them work.
Who's Selah? Is that a girl? Selah? I've only met a chick named Selah.
Where?
Selah?
Nope, that's a guy. Those are all men. Yeah. So.
I've met one person named Selah in my life, and that was a girl.
And then, yeah, whenever possible, you're obviously welcome to the couch. You're obviously welcome to the couch too.
All right, cool, perfect.
Cool. Great.
They got these two choices, whichever you prefer.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You sit in the middle, Bill.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, man, so much to talk about. But Justin Peterson, like he's like he has a normie understanding of the Jews. Like the people who are running Israel, they're like Freemasons.
Okay.
Like that Freemasons have infiltrated all sects, Catholics, Orthodox, Christians, whatever. So they're Satanists basically, and if you're gonna hate like Israel because it's run by Freemasons, then you can hate the United States too because the United States is run by Freemasons. Like they're running the show. It's not like Jewish people. Like even if they did want to punish Jewish people, like the majority of the population were like is peasants. You know.
Did you interview, or did you know who Jay Dyer is?
Jay Dyer?
Oh, I just interviewed him, so he was telling me about kind of what you're talking about, which is like the Satanists that are running everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys think that's true? Like they all work together, all the Satanists, to like control the population. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So it's so funny. Like we actually. We like a lot of stuff Nick Fuentes says, right?
Yeah.
He's just wrong about who's behind it, right? So who he's calling Jews,
Okay.
that's not the Jews. They're leftist elites, right?
Okay.
They're the cabal, the Illuminati, the deep state, right?
So why are they so weird about like the Jews? Why can't we? I mean, I was kidding, but I'm like,
We've never been offended by anything you've said, and we think that you should ask questions.
Yeah, because I wasn't even like what I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I think it's weird the way they react. You know, when I ask that. So like, what's your take on that?
Well, there's a lot of sensitivity of it, obviously because of the Holocaust. You know,
Do you think the Holocaust is like over exaggerated? Like, what's your?
I think it happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I meant like Nick. I think thinks it's over exaggerated. Do you guys?
And it's because of the Holocaust happening that like most Jews are now atheists. That's why they are. They're like, God didn't protect us. He let us get killed. So that's why they're atheists now. Yeah. So like
I got no agenda. Like I don't.
Right.
I'm just curious.
well, the crazy thing is that like the people that have been calling themselves Jews for the last 2,000 years, like they're actually not Jews according to God's standard. Right. It's not a race, it's a religion, right? And so someone who's a Jew according to God and like it just believes like Genesis to Revelation, like they believe it all and they apply it all.
Okay.
And that's just one of the many terms for someone that's a biblical person. You know, so yeah, it's really confusing. Unfortunately, like Jews really failed us in the world, but we say, but the Christians have done the same thing as the Jews though too.
Oh, he's not filming.
So that's okay. I was just talking to Pearl.
Oh, it's rolling.
So-
Cool.
Oh, is it epic? Okay. So real quick, like, what I was talking about before. So look at this. 10,500 Natufian hunter-gatherers harvest wild cereals in Syria and Lebanon. No specific date, no specific person. So that's made up. Look at all these, like, generic dates that are made up. But then you get to here, this is a real date. You know, the Roman Republic was founded in 509 BC.
So is this? So is this a book?
This is a secular historian book.
Like so this is a Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So these are your notes on it,
right?
And this is a secular book.
Exactly.
Got it.
So just to show a point, like it seems like it's impossible because we all just want to believe what we read at face value.
Well, no, it's so confusing because it's like all these different people.
And we really should be able to, but unfortunately that's never been true though. Like there's always been like false information out there. Like way back to the garden, right? Like Eve thought she could believe everyone, she believed Satan. And then so
That's funny.
exactly. Okay, so check this out. So this isn't biblical at all. This is completely secular.
Okay.
And so they're saying that the earliest civilization history started in this orange area.
Okay.
And like
wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so let's see here. And Mount Ararat is like right here.
Okay.
So this was the only place they could go that was flat, that wasn't mountainous, that was close to a river, that was fertile with water, where they could like farm. So the only place to go from right there is right there, where Noah landed.
And
that's why it started there.
And then where is that on the timeline?
So.
Pre-flood.
No,
okay, so that's there, the flood.
Exactly. Yep.
And so, what was life like here in this period of time?
It was pretty desolate. Like the world had been destroyed, and that's the thing too. So all of the evidence of the pre-flood world is buried under like miles of mud, etc. So all the stuff that we actually observe on the earth today is evidence of the flood. You know. So like, are you familiar with so like this is the city where like Abraham's from, or it was the largest city in the world at that time. And that is right here. Don't worry, this won't go long. This was the first empire post-flood. So this guy in the Bible is called Nimrod, but secular history calls him Sargon. Okay. And the Bible calls it the Bible calls it like the Empire of Babel, Tower of Babel. But the secular history calls it Akkad, the Akkadian Empire. So this is what the world looked like when Abraham was around, and so he went to the closest place outside of his empire that was fertile, which was
Canaanites.
Canaan, which is Israel, you know.
Okay.
There's so many.
That's why he went there.
So many crazy history books.
And Israel is like literally the center of the world. Like it's in Asia. It's like touching Africa. Europe is right there.
Right.
It's a perfect witnessing tool for everybody, just where it's located.
Okay.
So.
I think Nick was on your interview. He was like, "Why would people want Israel that has no oil there?" I'm like, "Bro, aren't you Catholic? Like, have you heard of the Crusades? Like this." Has always been a very influential part of the world, and it carries with it like a sense of authority, of spiritual, religious, authority, and it's been important to a lot of people. But yeah, Israel is a secular state as we know it. It's just like the United States. There's no difference about it.
How long did it take you to go through all this? This has to have taken forever.
Yeah, it took a while.
Like, when did you start researching this stuff?
I got really into history in 2002, and I studied every day since then. But when I started trying to figure out the timeline was 2013.
Wow.
So it took like about 10 years to put together. So.
Are there other people? Like, is there like a community of people that have figured this out, or?
Very rare. Nothing mainstream. Yeah.
No, I was just
very sparse. And so the reason why it's difficult is because like So if we were keeping time, like creation would be the year 0,
Okay.
and then today would be the year 5914. We'd be in the year 5914.
Okay.
If we were keeping history the way we're supposed to, with creation's year 0.
We would be in 5914.
Yeah.
And do you believe? I feel like I've seen something like the Earth is going to live to 6,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you think?
Yeah.
Like that's the end of time.
Yeah. No, but yeah. So then after that, there's the 1,000-year reign of the Messiah. Well, he'll actually the truth won't be a mystery anymore. Like he's gonna enforce the truth. He'll enforce the law, morality, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of that, then there'll be the new earth, forever.
And what's
For
that?
those that qualify.
Is that
That's heaven.
like heaven on earth?
Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing, Pearl, too. The Bible doesn't teach that we go to heaven when we die.
No way.
Yeah, yeah,
What
that's what has to be done.
say?
Yeah. So it's under debate, but what I believe it teaches, I got 57 verses on it. What happens when you die? It teaches you go to Sheol, which is under the earth, and the wicked people go to Hades, and then the believers go to paradise.
Okay.
Sheol under the earth. And then after that, the very few that qualify, so the best believers, prophets, disciples, the martyrs, will get to be governors during the 1,000-year reign. So Revelation chapter 20. And then after that, so Armageddon, 1,000-year reign of the Messiah, and then after that, it's crazy. There'll be apparently a ton of people that don't want to live under the Messiah and the truth. So they'll do one last rebellion. They'll be consumed with a fireball into Revelation chapter 20. And then at that point, all of the evil people will burn up in the lake of fire, which is a separate place. Same description, but a different place, and then it will be the new earth from then on out. So heaven comes down to earth. It will be a combination. We'll always be living on the earth though.
Huh.
That's something that is not known hardly at all.
Do you think
But
that
it's right there.
if you went down far enough, you'd find people?
Oh well, we can't. So I think the farthest that they've ever dug into the crust is 8 miles, and they speculate that there's no way they can know this, but they speculate the Earth's crust on the continental crust is 100 miles deep.
Oh wow.
So yeah, there's no way. It's too hard.
But you think that they're under the 100 miles is souls or?
I'm not sure how deep,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay, and do you think they're they look like this, physical people, or do you think it's spirits? What do you?
Yeah,
You think
exactly.
it's spirits?
Yeah, or
Okay.
or like an angel body. So I think they still do have a body, but it's not perishable. It's whatever Adam and Eve had in the garden, whatever the angels.
Do you
have.
believe in ghosts? They can make it up, spirits, that sort of thing?
No, I don't believe those are people that died. No, I think those would be demons.
Demons?
Evil spirits, yeah.
And what do you think? Are demons fallen angels? Is that what you think?
They're actually the kids of fallen angels. It's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
so this is Rob Skiba's specialty. And it says it right there in Genesis 6. But apparently, in the pre-flood world, during the days of Jared, so 200 fallen angels came down and had sex with women, and they produced abnormal children to them, like giants and evil hybrids and stuff.
What?
And so when it's right. It's right there. So this is referenced in Genesis chapter 6.
Okay.
This is referenced in Peter references it, and this is referenced in Jude. And then more detail is given in the book of Enoch and also Jasher and Jubilees.
Okay.
There are Hebrew scriptures that weren't canonized, or at least not today. They weren't. Yeah.
Canonized. That means when the church approves it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So the interesting thing is too is I was raised King James Bible only and only 66 books. Blah blah blah. It's not that the Catholics added 7 books. It's that Martin Luther and the Protestants took out 7 books. The reason the Catholics had those books in there is because the Hebrews had those books in there, right?
Okay.
So it's so trippy because I was taught a lot of things wrong. You had to relook at it from scratch. But okay, so when those kids died, they were never supposed to exist in the first place, and they were in a limbo state.
Okay.
And so those are the evil spirits, the demons that get referenced all throughout Scripture.
Do you believe there's a special bloodline of chosen people?
No.
Okay.
No. So it's never been about race. Exactly. We're literally all part of the same family. So with Adam and Eve, and then earlier than that, Noah and his wife. Every human alive, we're all cousins of each other.
Okay.
So that's the irony about the whole thing. So we are
The
literally
race
all part of the same
mixers,
family.
They came for me. They came. They're coal burner. I think it's kind of funny. Coal burner.
What are you saying? What?
No, the coal burner. I think they believe. I don't know who believes like, I'm not gonna say Nick believes this, but I think some of his followers believe there's like a chosen like bloodline.
Basically, every bloodline thinks they're the chosen bloodline.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, oh my gosh. But yeah, it's never been about the bloodline. It's never been about race. It's been about like it's about what you believe and what you do. That's all God cares about. He doesn't care what title you have. Like, he doesn't care about what family you were born into. He cares about, hey, do you believe in the truth and do you do what I told you to do? That's it. And we'll all be judged based on that, you know. Yeah. And so yeah. And so that boils down to, what does it boil down to? Boils down to patriarchy, and it also boils down to like he told us how to live from Exodus to Deuteronomy.
Okay, I feel like you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I feel like women, it's not too important. Like, okay, what religion you pick and okay. Let's say there's 10 women. One woman marries a Catholic, one woman marries a Protestant, one woman marries a Muslim guy, right? I think the most important thing for women is if they obey what the husband says.
Correct.
Because that makes more sense to me, because I'm like, it would confuse me when women wouldn't take their husband's religion. Even if maybe he's, like, they can't all be right? So some of them have to be wrong, but I would guess that God would be more favorable to a Muslim who took woman who took her husband's religion, even if they were wrong. Don't know. That's makes sense to me. But what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think absolutely. I think women will be judged based on like do they have a husband like God told them to from the get-go, the first thing, and like how they interact with them. Like are they a rebel, or do they actually submit to him like he told them to? Yeah, so that would be a huge factor. So now, I do think the other stuff is a factor too. So I think that they probably wouldn't qualify to like live forever if they were like a good submissive Muslim wife or whatever. But I think that their punishment would be noticeably less. Because God didn't design them to figure this stuff out by themselves.
Right.
They just didn't. Like, they just can't. I've literally never met a woman that actually did any independent study and actually knew anything. It's just true. And this is coming from like my mom was the matriarch of the home. Like my dad, it's so crazy to think of him this way, but my dad is his sweetheart, but he's like a small town country bumpkin kind of guy, and he's just not very brainy. And so he likes sports. That's his thing. And my mom actually is brainier than he is, but she's completely emotionally compromised. And what she what girls do is they pick everything that they've ever heard, and then they pick what they like, and that's what they go with. That's not how you figure out the truth.
Right.
That's what every girl does. And they don't have like a logical, historical like discernment filter. So everything they heard to them is equal. And so they're like, well, since I don't know which one's true, I'll just pitch which one I like the most. And that's not how you determine truth at all,
even like the Lauren Chen where she's like telling another guy how to talk to his wife. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But you believe in patriarchy.
Yeah.
I'll submit to you if you're a Christian patriarch.
Exactly.
That is the biggest cop out. Like that's a cop out. That's like, I'll submit to you when I feel like submitting to you. That's not submission at all. Can you submit to your boss when you feel like it? Or are there consequences and you'll get fired? Like, women don't think that there should be any consequences to their behavior. And, that's another thing. Like, the women are actually reinventing the Bible and what they're teaching in churches. They say, just love, just love, just love. And the Bible actually teaches just like navigate from a place of fear. Of consequences. And that's really all people understand. It's like the consequences for your actions. Like, women only respond to consequences. And like you've noticed, when there aren't, they're not going to do the right thing because they don't have that moral compass. It's all about self-preservation. And man, go ahead. Yeah, my mind running like 100 miles a minute basically right now, but.
So what do you guys think? You think in, 75 years from now, then Jesus is going to come?
86. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be dead.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be dead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what do you think's going to happen?
Oh, so
you said he'll make like a area that people don't want to go to. You said? Like he'll try to rule, and then people won't want to come.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been fascinated and studied like the end times my entire life, and the truth is there's a million different theories out there. The truth is there's not enough information that's specific. So anyone that tells you differently is lying, not being genuine. Like that, I studied so deep and so wide just to find out there's not enough information to predict specifics.
Right.
So but the most popular theory going is that there will be like the last 7 years where Satan will like publicly take over, and he'll do like an inversion of what like God and the Messiah do. Like, you know, the Antichrist will be a human that will be like Satan's son or indwelled by
Joe
him.
Biden or something.
No, absolutely not.
He's not smart enough to do that.
So no, definitely not. So like he'll make a solution to like a world problem like that no one else could think of, and it'll seem like things are going good.
Oh, so it's like where the one true government's going, like the one world government. Right. So that's gonna be like Oh, that kind of makes sense. Okay.
A lot of people think that there will be that aliens will have like a part to do with it. So like a lot of people believe in aliens, and so we believe the phenomenon is going on, but we don't think that they're extraterrestrials. Like we think that, you know, when we talk about like the Nephilim, the demons, we think that it's actually those characters that developed the gray bodies, and they have like the technology, etc. And so anyway.
What do you mean the gray bodies?
You know the little green men. The Greys?
Like when you picture an alien.
Yeah.
Big head, they're small.
Yeah. I never really believed in them, but...
So, yeah, I never did either. Like, So I never did either, and Rob Skiba brought it up, and so I spent 2 years looking into it, and so this is great. I didn't think we go on this route. We're gonna make a trailer for it. So I think it's a real phenomenon, but anyway, so this also might be a factor too. Like, you know, so the aliens come down and they say, hey, you know what? All your religions were all right and wrong at the same time. We're your creators, etc. And so you guys all were like partly right, partly wrong. So potentially everyone might drop their religion or just be part of this one new religion or whatever. And anyway, things will go really bad in the last 3.5 years. You know, so God's gonna do what He did in like the Exodus. He's gonna rain down all kinds of plagues, and like 3/4 of the world is gonna die. This is like detailed Revelation. Yeah. And then
3/4. They think 3/4 of the world will die.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
because of diseases and like how do you think that would happen?
Yeah, like a variety of factors. So like starvation, like withholding the wind, actually.
Drought.
Yeah, exactly. Drought, like plague.
Withholding the wind. What does that mean?
So yeah, it says that like God will cause the wind not to blow on the earth, which will create like all kinds of problems.
Okay.
Yeah. So so there's something called wormwood, like an asteroid will like hit, and you know it gets crazy. But anyway, the point is a lot of people are going to die, and the whole point is like it's because they didn't listen to like God's like trying to like peacefully persuade them for so many thousands of years.
Right.
And this is like just like in Egypt, this is like a last ditch effort. So a lot of people think, oh, God's a Gemini, He was doing all the plagues in Egypt, but actually it was like a witnessing tool to try to get their attention because the nice way didn't work, so now He's trying the hard way. And then of course He protected the Hebrews that were in Egypt, right? So He'll do that again with believers in the future. The actual believers, not just anyone who identifies,
Right.
Like and then at the end of the 7 years, Joshua. So like Joshua will come from heaven and fight the Battle of Armageddon, and kills all the bad people. And that's a plain in Israel actually, in Megiddo. So he'll have to forcibly conquer his enemies, just like every conquest and empire has throughout all of history. They first have to win a battle, and then they establish like their empire. And so then he'll reign over this exact current earth for 1,000 years. Okay. And so he'll be the king from Jerusalem, and then it says we'll rule and reign with Christ, Messiah, for 1,000 years. So my interpretation of that is like the best believers who He can trust, right? Who like did what He told them to do when they didn't have to during their lifetime, and of course the martyrs and etc. They'll be governors throughout the whole earth, and they'll be like enforcing His law. They'll be enforcing morality, right? And then
that's why I call Joel the governor.
Thanks, sweetie. Yeah. So and then what the crazy thing is it says like throughout all the time we're like, well, how could only 8 people be saved in the flood? If history had only gone on for 1,656 years, and like and that's the cool thing about that chart I showed you. Like Adam lived to be like 950 years old.
This chart. Oh, yeah. This one. Okay.
Yeah, let me show you something so fascinating there. So this is a chart put together by Kent Hovind.
Okay.
And I list where you can find it. So the reason why I list like people's ages in the Bible seems boring and irrelevant. That's so you could put a chart together like this one. So, did you zoom in on that, Jabri? Awesome. So, okay, so like, so the life of Adam, the first person ever created, overlaps the life of Methuselah. So it wasn't hearsay. This was the oldest guy who ever lived 969 years old. So this guy way down here, his great grandkid, like he literally knew his great grandpa Adam.
He must have looked old as hell.
Yeah.
Like, what would a 1,000-year-old guy look like?
Exactly. So like Kent Hovind actually goes into detail about how this is possible. It's a long like sciencey explanation. But basically, there was like more oxygen in the air, which made your like red blood cells more oxygenated, which allowed you to like heal faster, live longer, have more energy, etc. Like hyperbaric oxygen chamber that NFL players use today. So that's in DVD number 2, The Garden of Eden. So anyway, so Methuselah knew Adam personally for like 200 years. Methuselah was Noah's grandpa.
Okay.
And then Methuselah died just a few days before the flood, but his life overlapped Shem, Noah's son. Okay. So literally Shem on the ark, his great grandpa knew the first person who ever lived. Okay. So that's why history and the Bible is credible and nothing else is, like atheism. So if you don't have a human seeing it, you don't have anything. You're just making stuff up. You're forcing your interpretation onto an inanimate object. If you don't have a human observing it, you don't have anything. So all we can go on is like, okay, so someone who saw it, right? So God, the angels, and humans. Like, so if you don't have that, you don't have anything. It's pure speculation. You're making it up. So, okay, so Shem was on the ark, and he lived to be 600 years old. Look how long Shem lived. He lived all the way to like the life of Jacob. So Jacob, look at all these kids later. So Jacob, it wasn't a theory that Shem and Noah were on the ark and there was a flood. Jacob literally knew Shem for like around 50 years. And there's a whole cool story in Jasher about Abraham actually learned. He went to the house of Shem and Noah and learned from him up in Haran, which is on the Euphrates River. So like this wasn't theory.
And that's in the Bible?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the detailed story is in Jasher, and then Genesis is a summary. So this covers all of Genesis, which is 2,309 years.
And what Bible do you guys... Because there's all these different versions, aren't there, of the Bible?
There are.
Yeah, so like what one do you guys read? Or
the one I've been using since 2013 is the New King James Version.
Okay, the New King. Is that common one or no?
Yeah, it's common.
Okay, it is.
Yep. So that's like a whole nother topic, but like most of them are good enough, Okay. Yeah, good enough. So most people aren't even reading them anyway. Okay, so so Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. So Joseph's dad, who was the vice pharaoh of the largest empire in the entire world, so his dad literally knew someone on the ark. So none of this was theory. It was all eyewitness accounts, so knew him personally. So Adam, Methuselah, Shem, Jacob, Joseph, and Egypt. Okay. And then history became like was very well kept by everyone, like around this time, and on. So everyone thinks, oh, it's not knowable. Like what happened before Joseph's like not knowable. Like, but it is. It is because of this.
Okay, and so your view is that this is like the real history and everything else is fake.
Right.
So like evolution, that's made up. Do you think, but some history kind of like this one kind of goes with what you're saying? It does. I see?
It does. Absolutely, it does. Yep.
So
this picture, you want to get the blue laminate there?
Yeah, sure.
So I talked about this on human migration. Secular history proves the Bible.
Okay. Okay, so this is okay, and so you put in what you think is okay, because. So can you show me like why you thought something was untrue in this? Can you like, I just want to go through your thought process. So something that was in this book that you said bullshit.
Sure.
and why you thought it was bullshit. So I like to understand like the thought process, people like the system you go through.
The earliest like Sumerians that were in Mesopotamia, that was like Noah and his kids and grandkids. That's who the Sumerians were. So civilization stayed in Mesopotamia for such a long time. They're referencing people like the Bilderberger group, you know, like the Rothschilds and like the bankers, etc., and apparently maybe Bill Gates and George Soros for sure. These people aren't Jewish at all. They're atheists. They're all self-identified atheists. How can they be Jewish if they're atheists? So how can Judaism be a race if we have black Jews, white Jews, and tan Jews? It doesn't make any sense. Esau was not a good person. He was not a believer, right? He didn't do what God told him to do. He did what the world was. Esau, like even though he was born to Jacob, he would be considered a Gentile. A Gentile is just saying something is a non-believer. So regardless of time, continent, or religion, patriarchy has been the only system that's ever been employed. It's the only system that can work, you know? If men didn't go along with it, feminism couldn't exist. It's never existed on its own in all of history. There's never been a society where there was a matriarchy, where there was consistently female queens, where like it's never existed because it can't.
Only married women would be able to work. Only married women could work, and that paycheck would actually go into the household account, which would be under the husband's, and that would be taxed. And his vote would be on behalf of the entire family.
You know, 80% of the homeless people are men. Nobody gives a shit.
And so it's like, well, why don't you go get a job?
All these Republican churchmen are beta, right? Like Lauren Chen's husband's a beta, Ben Shapiro beta, Michael.
He's not like Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson. Michael Knowles beta, Andrew Kaplan beta. What's the guy's name that played? What's the guy that runs the Daily Wire?
Oh God.
Like beta.
Jeremy Boring.
So beta male is feminism.
Yeah.
And feminism is the left. How are they conservative? They're not. So that's the crazy thing is Republicans today are entirely liberal. They're entirely feminist. And churchgoers today are feminist too. They're very liberal, right? So they haven't conserved shit. It's been a total failure. Republicans in church has been a total failure. The Christian title movement actually got started in 80 AD. So once all the disciples had died, some new second generation Roman converts called the Didache created a whole new religion called Christianity.
So when people are like, the Jews run Israel, like, no guys, it's a secular state. They're feminist. They're some of the most feminist people there. They have the second biggest gay parade in the world over there.
It's under debate, but like what I believe it teaches, I got 57 verses on it, what happens when you die. It teaches you go to Sheol, which is under the earth. And like the wicked people go to Hades, and then the believers go to paradise. This also might be a factor too, like, you know, so the aliens come down and they'll say, hey, you know what, all your religions were all right and wrong at the same time. We're your creators, etc. And so you guys all were like partly right, partly wrong. So potentially everyone might drop their religion or just be part of this one new religion or whatever. And anyway, things will go really bad in the last 3.5 years, you know, so God's going to do what he did in like the Exodus. He's going to rain down all kinds of plagues and like 3/4 of the world is going to die. This is like detailed Revelation. Yeah.
So can you show me like why you thought something was untrue in this? Can you like, I just want to go through your thought process. So something that was in this book that you said bullshit.
Sure.
And why you thought it was bullshit. So I like to understand like the thought process, people, like the system you go through.
Okay, so yeah, so what they're describing right here is actually like Noah and his kids and grandkids right here in the orange area, and they're calling Noah and his grandkids the Hasuna culture. Okay. You know, but anyway, the earliest like Sumerians that were in Mesopotamia, that was like Noah and his kids and grandkids. That's who the Sumerians were. Okay. And so they ended up migrating like farther south because it was the rivers came closer together. It was more fertile. It was a better spot to be. You know, so that's why Sumer started like in the southern area right here.
Share with Africa.
What?
The map of Africa.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so real quick. So the earliest of these cultures was the Hasuna culture, and it says 6,500 to 6,000 BC. So that's a bullshit date. It's not specific. And there's no specific person with a specific event, and there's no specific date. It's not specific. This is completely made up. 6,500 to 6,000 BC. How do they know that? You know, they don't. They're forcing their interpretation onto it. You know, there's so much really cool stuff.
Because they're saying like that they don't. If they had a specific date and like person who said it or something, then it would be different. But this is just a guess.
Exactly. Okay. So like and Ken Hovind actually really goes into great detail about carbon dating too. Basically, carbon dating it doesn't work the way that they say it works for multiple different factors. You know. But yeah, so carbon dating is a fraud, you know. That's on number 7, questions and answers. Okay.
So then what's the best way to, like, if you dig and you find something, what's the best way to know like what it is? So I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm an archaeologist. I find some stuff in the ground that's a civilization we didn't know about. How would you know what time period it's from?
Well, okay, so like one great like PhD seminar series that I really like, but it has some of these problems in it, like the bias, is Ancient Civilizations Before Alexander by like PhD Bob Dice. And so he covers like all of these empires, and of course he he'll take Egyptian chronology over Hebrew chronology. So there's bias there when actually like the Hebrew chronology is more trustworthy. And then he like weaves in evolution because it's his personal religion. And his religion can't be questioned if it leads him to some place that is going to make him have bad feelings. So like, unfortunately, yeah, like the...
Where do you believe Muslims came from? Like, where do you think that?
So that got started, like, that's a pretty recent religion. It got started in 600 AD, like by Muhammad, and I think that
600 AD. I want to look.
I think that Allah
That's not
is
Oh.
Satan.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the picture of Africa here. Oh, a lot of people don't realize like how people didn't spread throughout the
There it
whole
is.
world until. Oh, there we go. Oh, thanks, honey.
Okay.
A lot of people think that like we're spread out throughout all the nooks and crannies and the islands all around the world, and it's always been that way. That's actually not true, right? Noah got off the ark in northern Mesopotamia, at Mount Ararat, and it actually took him a long time to spread out. And so, even secular historians will like admit this, but like the population just really doesn't think about it, doesn't know. So, so Noah got off the ark right here.
Okay.
They immediately settled right here, Mesopotamia. Then the next spot, like ironically, the Nile, it's surrounded by desert, but the Nile, because like the way it overflows, it's the most fertile farmland in the entire world, right in the middle of a desert, because of the way it overflows.
I've heard
And
that,
it's just
yeah.
like it's the darkest, richest soil. So it's so fascinating, it's so ironic. Richest soil in the middle of a desert on either side. So people spread out through this purple area to start before 500 BC. So remember, so Noah got off the ark in 2250 BC.
Okay.
So the Phoenician Empire, like with Carthage was founded not until like 810 BC. So a long time later. So they didn't even settle some of these areas until a long time after the flood. But anyway, so look at this. This orange area wasn't settled till at the earliest 1 AD, 2,000 years ago. This gray area wasn't settled until 500 AD at the earliest. And then the green area, so like sub-Saharan Africa, most of sub-Saharan Africa wasn't settled until 1000 AD. So just 1,000 years ago.
Really? So you think? But how did the Native Americans found that?
They were Mongolians actually. They came through Asia. That's what we think. Probably like a lot of different ways. Like they probably like the Polynesians, went over there a long time later in the Southwest Pacific Islands. But
So where would the Native? So did this all happen in the last 1,000 years? The Native Americans came to America.
so it would have been less ancient than people think.
Okay.
Relatively like more recent. Yeah.
So when would that have been?
Probably like around like the same time frame, maybe just around 2,000 years ago.
But so around this. So while this was happening, then they were also spreading everywhere else too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, that's
From the direction of Asia.
So why? Yeah. So why this is so interesting? Like, so if the whole Lucy story is true with evolution, and like Lucy evolved right here, and if that happened like hundreds of thousands of years ago, 500,000 years ago, we should have seen civilization start in sub-Saharan Africa 500,000 years ago.
Okay.
But we didn't see it till recently. But why is that? Because Lucy's story is bullshit. That didn't happen. That's not true. She was just a heavy-duty chimpanzee. And it's because the Bible story with Genesis and Noah is true.
Okay. So, yeah, I never really believed evolution anyways, so that makes sense. So, but your view, okay, so that Noah's Ark happened, or that whole thing happened, and then after they started spreading out, is what you're saying, all across the world.
Yeah.
But it was slower than people think.
Yeah. So civilization stayed in Mesopotamia for such a long time. So like for the better part of like the first 1,000 years after the flood, like 2250 BC. So like the 2000s and the thousands BC, it stayed in Mesopotamia.
And the reason people look the way they do now is a product of inbreeding. It's just inbreeding, you know. The language, we're confused, and people tend to be with people tend to like marry and raise families with people they can understand. So you're just going to be around people that have your same culture and language, and so you're going to inbreed, and that's really all like our different levels of melanin and skin tones are like. It's just a product of inbreeding, like white skin, blue eyes, darker skin, all of that. It's just genetic manipulation.
What's you guys' take on, they think there's like an anti-white agenda. Do you think that's true? Like the mass migration's like an anti-white thing?
Oh, we're going there, right? Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do think it is? So why do you
yeah.
think they hate like white people?
Pretty obvious.
Like what's the...
Jealousy.
Okay.
Yeah,
because,
it's pure jealousy.
Because, and that's, but aren't the elites that are doing it, aren't they white?
Yeah.
I'm looking at them. I'm like,
Right.
all the billionaires, they're pretty much white or Jewish.
Yeah. It's not gonna affect them though.
Okay.
So,
They're not Jewish. They're Satanists.
Well,
so
I thought some of them were Jewish. Like
George Soros, let's take him for example, or like Epstein or Weinstein. Like these people do evil things.
Yeah.
That's not a Jewish practice to do evil things.
Yeah.
So like they affiliate because either it's a virtue signal card, it's a victim card,
I see what you're saying.
or maybe if they are in a like agenda, they want to taint, you know, reputation of a Hebrew people.
Well, I think
like,
of Jewish people as like, I know maybe I shouldn't, but they kind of look.
you know,
white
people
to
tell me I'm not white on X.
Yeah.
They're like,
they
they're
look white to me. But
Like-
my point was, why would they have an anti-white campaign if they're white? Like that doesn't make any sense.
right. So they're referencing people like the Bilderberger Group, you know, like the Rothschilds and like the bankers, etc., and apparently maybe Bill Gates and George Soros for sure, you know, etc. So these people aren't Jewish at all. They're very wealthy, very famous, very powerful, behind the scenes leftist elites. It's the deep state. They're atheists. They're all self-identified atheists. How can they be Jewish if they're atheists? And so they're taking like a name like Rothschild's. Like, isn't that a Jewish name? Like, there's no such thing. So so Judaism is a religion. You know, you have like Ethiopian, very dark Jews, right? You have you have white Eastern European Ashkenazi Jews. You have Mediterranean tan Jews.
I don't know a ton of Jewish people, but they all look white to me. Like they look white to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can Judaism be a race if we have black Jews, white Jews, and tan Jews? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's this stupid. Okay, so because it was like the family in Genesis, right? You have Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, you know, Joseph. Because it was a family thing that carried on the faith. They're like, oh, family, race. Okay, it's like the same thing. It's a really same religion. But check this out though. Like, so Jacob and Esau, they were brothers. They were twins. Esau, there's way more detail about him actually in Jasher, just a summary in Genesis. But Esau decided to be evil, to be wicked. Like he decided to walk away from the faith. Jacob decided to care about God and do what he said.
This Jacob?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Where's Esau on this? He's not on here?
He's not on there. Yep. So this is just like the righteous men that
Oh, the
passed.
righteous men. Okay, fine.
But yeah, they were twins though.
Yeah.
They were twins, you know. Like,
Yeah.
But Esau was not saved, you know. Esau was not a good person. He was not a believer, right? He didn't do what God told him to do. He did what the world was. Esau, like even though he was born to Jacob, he would be considered a Gentile. A Gentile is just saying is a non-believer. You know, like a Hebrew is just saying that's just a biblical believer. Mm-hmm. That's what it's really saying. You know. So yeah, and unfortunately, you know, it's such a shame. You know, like the Jews really failed us because they didn't pass on the truth. Why do people think that? Is it they're saying that it's a race? Mm-hmm. You know, like the reason people think that Judaism is a bad term is because like they rejected Matthew Revelation and their Jewish Hebrew Messiah, you know, etc. I think the reason why like there has been like so much. It's crazy, like about why there's been anti-Semitism in all of history. It's kind of like a tricky subject. I think we were going to go here, but it's because two things. Number one, they're different, right? They didn't conform to whatever culture they were a part of. They looked very different. They looked weird, you know, and so and they did really well. Like they were like they're fantastic neighbors. Like they're basically pacifists. Like through all of history.
I've never
like,
done non-successful. I've never have.
Yeah. They're like family oriented.
Yeah.
You know, they have intact families. they're industrious with business. It's something it's someone you'd want to buy from and do business with. And so they did well just because they were wise and just did just traditional good work ethic, business practices. And so the people that weren't doing well, they were just resentful. So just the long and the short of it. And it's a real tricky topic, but
yeah. And since Rome, there was always an an unpatriotic kind of idea affiliated with Jewish people, like what Joel told you in the car, they were rebellious against Rome, so people purposely did not want to affiliate with them because they were executed. There were multiple mass murders of these people, and Rome's culture has remained to this day. I mean, go down to Washington D.C., it's all pillars and
right.
Obelisks and stuff like that. So our culture is entirely Roman. And
really?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Everything we do is because of Rome. Yeah. Yep. So
what were the big empires that were important, I guess, and what were any of them, would you say, really Christian, patriarchal?
Yeah. So regardless of time, continent, or religion, patriarchy has been the only system that's ever been employed because it's the only system that can work.
Right. But you
so
agree we're in a matriarchy now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So everyone, regardless of beliefs, practiced patriarchy because they had to. There's no other way it could work.
Would you say the U.S. started as a patriarchy?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
For sure. Absolutely.
And that switched when women got the right to vote. Would you say? Or earlier?
Yeah, that was exactly. So that's when it started to change then, but the reason why it didn't get too crazy in 1920 is because we had the Great Depression right afterwards in 1929.
Right.
The Great Depression. So now, all of the fluff jobs were gone. It was just industry. It was just manual labor. Mm-hmm. So we were not doing that. Not even doing it that way. No, I'm sorry. I'm not strong and independent. Yeah, no. We'll do the easy jobs at home. Yes. So when the economy is tough or when there's war, feminism doesn't exist. So that just shows you it's a social construct. It's entirely a social construct. And it has to be propped up by men. If men didn't go along with it, feminism couldn't exist. Okay. It's never existed on its own in all of history. There's never been a society where there was a matriarchy, where there was consistently female queens, where it's never existed. Because it can't, So, then we had World War II, right? And obviously, they didn't want to fight that war, right? Exactly. So that's why feminism didn't really take off until 1960.
That's why it got delayed, was because we had 2 world wars and a Great Depression. Do you believe so? When I spoke to Jay Dyer, he said that the elites were funding the wars. Do you guys think that's right? They were just working together and they didn't really.
We just watched the documentary on that. Looks like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very disturbing actually. It's there's more to be revealed, but it looks like American manufacturers were providing the building blocks for the enemies and the allies. So it is disturbing. Think about this stuff. But
but that's why it was pushed off till the 60s.
Yeah.
And then matriarchy just got out of control.
2 things. The Depression solved because of World War II, not because of FDR's Great New Deal. That's a big lie in history that they tell us. It's because of World War II, right? Because of World War II, the factories were booming, producing all of this World War II equipment, and that helped our economy. And then, of course, we destroyed the enemy's economy, and so we were the only game in town. So World War II brought us out of the Great Depression. So now we're in a time of peace and safety. So the social contract of feminism can begin now. And then, of course, you have the birth control pill in 1960. So.
And then women had a crazy amount of power. Yeah.
I was telling Joel in the car that it actually started when I was watching you and Rachel talk about the Industrial Revolution. She brought this up and got me thinking, America has always been about, taxation, not against taxation without representation, right? So now the women are making their money. They're being taxed on their money. So by all means, the next step would be to give them representation for their taxation. So
we're starting to see it.
I mean,
it's politicians. Is that what you mean, female politicians?
No, I mean that the reason that they got the vote or they were emboldened to terrorize it for it was because they were like, well, we're paying taxes. What shouldn't be represented? And so, I don't think they've ever carried themselves in a way to, interact with politicians like we just saw the other day, right? So, but they it's just constantly been a ploy to push the envelope, and they're doing it now even more. It's always been ideological before it's been physical, as we're seeing now. So like Joel and I, we go to a restaurant, this old couple, they're like, oh, what a cute little, straight white couple, this is so adorable. The feminists back in my day weren't the way they are now. I wonder why they got so crazy. And grandma's wearing pants and short hair. If I'm not looking at her from behind, I can't tell the difference between grandma and grandpa. And so they all kept trying to push the envelope, like appropriating men, And I think it actually started with women working. And I personally don't think that women should have their own money because they don't do good things with their money. And they use it to leverage against men, whereas men use their money to benefit women, to protect women.
I actually thought about how, because we're in such a matriarchy now, that some men, and I've talked to, there's one lawyer I interviewed for, the divorce documentary, and he said he would only date a woman that makes as much money as him because he's not, he's like, I am not. He said he'd prefer a woman that makes more so he can protect himself legally. And I was thinking, I'm like, I guess a way they could do it is she has to hand her paycheck to him.
Yeah, that's the only way it would work, is that if your wife worked, only married women would be able to work. Only married women could work, and that paycheck would actually go into the household account, which would be under the husband's, and that would be taxed. And his vote would be on behalf of the entire family. Lauren Chen is just like, oh, maybe net taxpayers should vote, or maybe only landowners should vote. If only landowners vote, that's an oligarchy. Guess what? There's a ton of people in our economy right now that can't afford to own land, but guess what? They're still expected to die for your country. Right,
that's true.
And so she kept trying to swivel around the draft. She kept trying to swivel around the fact that women aren't getting drafted. So they shouldn't vote. Maybe there's another way they could vote if they prove themselves. They're not going to die for the country. Like you said perfectly, you don't have skin in the game. And I told you, we were talking, even if women did get drafted, that is a charade. They're taking you guys for saps. Even if they are drafted, who do you think is going to carry the brunt of the weight in the military?
Yeah.
You're going to have little desk secretary girls. They can't do the job.
Yeah, well, and my thought too was, because I've said net taxpayers, because obviously we don't want men living off the system. You don't want guys, but I was thinking about it, and I'm like, most guys that live off the system, well, not most, but a good percentage of homeless men are only homeless because of freaking women. So 100%. It's so I'm like, how many?
And they don't even get the benefits women get.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. I couldn't believe, it's so easy to find. That's why I'm like, why are these people playing pretend? It's so easy to find. If you ask, 3 questions, ask any military guy, do you know a guy wrecked in divorce? And a lot of them are, in poverty. They end up going homeless because of it. It's, crazy.
Yeah, and nobody cares. It's crazy. 80% of the homeless people are men. Nobody gives a shit. 80% of the people that unalive themselves are men. Nobody cares.
They think it's, and I used to have this mentality, and I think my dad used to too, to be honest, because my dad's we're really hard workers in my family. It's just how we were raised. And so it's well, why don't you go get a job? And that's what you think, right? Because you're why? There's no reason you should be that. That's the initial reaction. But you ask 3 questions. Do you owe any child support? And you find 70 to 80% of them do. So it's not even their fault some woman's robbing them.
Right, exactly.
Debilitating depression is undersold. And it's not mental health, women's anxiety level. It's depression. How do you think it feels that your mother doesn't love you, your wife doesn't love you, sometimes your sisters don't love you? Joel was saying on the way, women have a higher loyalty to the sisterhood than their own sons, than their own fathers, than their own brothers, for fuck's sake.
I couldn't believe this guy. I was like,
women by far are the more sexist gender.
So for
100%,
a man to function, he has to feel replenished. He has to feel like it's worth something. How do you expect a man to go and perform when he is debilitatingly depressed? Anybody who's been depressed knows what it's like. The reason these women are so flippant about it is because they've been catered to their entire life. They don't know what it's like to be alone. They don't care. They don't care. And it's really obvious listening to them talk. Lauren Chen said, I destroy my husband when it comes to aim and rifle stuff. I was like, I would never speak about my husband like that publicly. I destroy my husband in this. What type of wife are you? It was very
Yep.
unbecoming to say
All of these,
to say the
all
least.
these Republican churchmen are beta, right? Like Lauren Chen's husband's a beta. You know,
You can tell. Yeah.
unfortunately, Jordan Lee Peterson beta, Ben Shapiro beta, Michael.
He's not Lee. Jordan Peterson. You're
Jordan Peterson.
Mhm.
Jordan L. Peterson. Jordan Peterson.
It's Jesse
beta.
Lee Peterson.
Michael Knowles beta. Andrew Kaplan beta. What's the guy's name that Clayton? What's the guy that runs the Daily Wire?
Oh God.
Like beta.
Jeremy Bourne.
Beta,
Yeah.
like you know, totally beta. So being a beta male is feminism.
Yeah.
And feminism is the left. How are they conservative? They're not. So that's the crazy thing is Republicans today are entirely liberal. They're entirely feminist. And churchgoers today are feminist too. They're very liberal, right? So they haven't conserved shit. It's been a total failure. Republicans in church has been a total failure.
Well, yeah, well, I
So-
think, and I don't know, I was thinking about this. So this isn't from a biblical point of view. I was just thinking. I feel like a guy like Andrew Tate, who lives on his own terms and does what he wants, lives in a more moral way than a man who bends to the will of his wife. Because I don't know why I think this, but I'm like, okay, yeah, Tate did the cam stuff. That's, you know, you can't really say that's like a good thing. But like, at least you can tell a woman no.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
conservatives can't even do that.
Did you see our 6-minute short? Andrew Tate is a simp.
Oh no, I didn't see it. You think
You
he's
didn't?
a simp?
Oh, of all
He does-
people, you should have seen
He
that one,
does
bro.
have some
You know.
gynocentric tendencies. I wouldn't. You think he's a simp? Really, why? I didn't see it.
Well, okay, so the first thing we do though is we give him props. We're like, hey,
Okay.
you know what? He's trying to be alpha. He's trying to be patriarchal. He's trying not to be beta and feminist. So good for him. You know, we're proud of that. Us, like, we prefer like Tristan. It seems to be like more intelligent and like than Andrew. Andrew seems to be really dumb. He just really does. You know, like, so he literally is a Muslim atheist. He believes in the Quran and he believes in evolution, but the Quran believes in Genesis and the Garden of Eden. It's a contradiction in terms. So anyway, so he's very unintelligent. Like the second thing is too. Oh,
There's hope for you yet. There's hope for you.
I like Tate, but I don't know if I. They're gonna
So-
roast me. I'm gonna tell you why. I don't know if I believe the buzz. I don't think he believes the buzz.
He joined that,
So-
like I said.
Yeah,
it's
I
part of
know.
the
It's just so
paradigm.
secular.
It's
It's not
part of
really
the
Muslim.
brand.
Yeah.
It's
the brand.
a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a
But,
very patriarchal. They're openly patriarchal.
recent- yeah.
But, so that's part of the branding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry,
So
keep going.
so he says he's against being a simp, being a beta simp, but like that's how he made his first million. He made his first million off of toxic women extorting beta simps, right? Like online game girls. And so, but this is my biggest complaint though too is that like so he's structuring his entire life for the pursuit of women, for the approval of women, like to acquire women. Like so why does he want to be wealthy? It's because women want the money. The women want the take the money from him. So he's like, oh, I'm going to make the money so I can give it to women. Is that not a beta simp? Is that not a simp?
When he talks about like,
He says that's a purpose of
So,
man, protect and provide,
like-
protect and provide. It's like you don't need all
So-
that to provide.
He literally said that the woman at home is going to take care of him spiritually. When it's the exact opposite way around. The man should be taking care of the woman spiritually, you know.
That's true.
Hate that word, but
literally
that's what he said.
She
you know,
will
like,
spiritually protect him.
Oh,
I was
God.
just
Yeah.
like,
Oh God.
she's literally
And so-
spiritually gonna friggin' damn you. What are you
yeah.
talking about?
So sure, he's playing. Okay, so
Yeah.
based on what women want, right? They want money and they want a hot guy. So he's playing that game really well.
Right.
So that's why he has like multiple women. So he's definitely like playing the game. But like that's not the priority in life though. Like the
Yeah.
priority in life is like, hey, you know what? How are you supposed to live your life right now? Well, you figure out what happened in the past. That's the only way you can know for sure. Everything's in the past, right? So we can't live in the future. We don't know what's going to happen there. It's a blank slate. We can only live in the present, second by second. So literally, all of life takes place in the past. So how you determine how to live right now is based on finding out what happened in the past, and then based on that truth, that's how you live your life, and then that's what's going to happen in the future, and then you spend your life teaching other people to do that. Like he doesn't do that. Like his like so
It's
his
personal benefit fitting in yet
yeah.
again.
So you know, like ironically, like so his pursuits, his only pursuits are women, fame, money, and sorry.
Yeah.
So honestly, and so that's what women want. So he's dedicating his whole life to basically serving women and giving them what they want, which is his money and like and being hot, you know. Like, so he's letting women dictate the terms for how he lives his life.
Right.
Yeah, women
So-
are dictating whether you're a valuable man or not. Like
Yeah.
Joel says in the video, according to him, all women in third world countries who make less than $1 a day, they're worthless. They don't deserve a good woman because they're not rich and hot.
Yeah.
Like you only deserve a
that's
good
true. I
woman.
do disagree with him on that.
Yeah.
I guess my point was more by his demeanor, I would be very surprised if the women in his life control him.
Oh, of course they don't. They don't.
That's what I meant.
They
when
don't
I
have the
said-
leverage because he's in Romania.
Yeah.
He gets international women too. It seems like, but like they
Yeah,
don't have
it's
the
like-
leverage over him.
And I would say it's more well, I guess I think that evil kind of comes from letting women control you. So I trust a guy like Tate was more of my point. I do agree with you in what you're saying, but more than I would trust the simps.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, for sure. Yeah. And we give him props like right away in the first part of the video. Hey, we think you're doing this, and this right. So we're proud of you for doing that.
Yeah.
Right. So like, that's the thing. We're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If someone's good on one topic, we'll put them just for that one topic.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be like, oh, I don't like what you said here, so we're going to throw you away. That's what most people do.
Or the women
You know.
are so special and awesome and amazing. They all, Sneeko pushes that too. It drives me insane. It's like, it's always this like, because I came to this conclusion where I was like, everything they say women are good at, they can't measure.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like,
that's their
what?
specialty.
I'm like, is there anything that we could like put a fact next to, or like, like what is this what is femininity? What do you think it is?
It's exactly what you say it is. Yeah.
Selflessness?
Yeah. Being selfless. That's the
Yeah.
number one feminine trait.
Yeah.
And that's the opposite of Western women at the day. Yeah. So, whereas they think being feminine means being a whore. Being,
Well, they'll
like,
teach you how to do your makeup and like dress, and I'm like, okay, mate, fine. It's not fine, looking pretty fine, but I'm like, I don't know. When I think of like the grandmas that are so sweet and angelic, it's like none of them really had makeup on or really cared about their fashion that much.
yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, it's all manufactured. All the female beauty right now, the fake lashes. By the way, if you get wearing fake lashes, you're for the streets. I'm telling you right now. I can't stand girls with fake lashes. It's a horrible, horrible look, ladies. Like, you don't need it. But anyways, like fake lashes, all the pounds of makeup, the nails, like, it's so manufactured that now men are looking like better at looking like women because it's not even real. Like, yeah, they are, I don't know what time we live in where we go out to the movies and I'm just like, what did I just look at? I don't know what I just looked at anymore. I don't know who I'm talking to because it's all fake. Like the femininity is fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like in your demeanor and the way you carry yourself and in the way you move throughout life.
Mm-hmm.
They're all making it like a very surface level and then they think the biggest insult that they can give another woman is you're ugly. You ugly. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ugly. What's your point? What's your point?
Look how shallow women are. Like, that's the first thing they go to. They're like, life's all about being pretty. There's nothing else other than life than prettiness. That is the highest objective. If you're pretty, you get everything you want. You get to extort the men for money. Like, who's shallow? Like, who's greedy? Who's a thief right here, right? So every time they disagree with you, Pearl, or even Leora next, the first thing they'll say, I'm prettier than you. Oh, I think you're ugly. You're like, you're 12. You're 12 years old. They're middle schoolers,
Yeah.
And so that's the thing too. Is like, so I like it. It's so crazy, but like, so I think that most women stay 12 years old their entire life, and then if they have a strong, smart, patriarchal man, he can actually force the maturity level, and they're teaching up to 17. But I think that's their maximum maturity.
Do you know what's crazy? How conservatives can't say that women know what they're doing. It drives me crazy. Like,
the accountability.
I was after the podcast.
Right, exactly.
I talked to Isabella and her husband, and he kept saying that like women don't know what they're doing. They're just lost by feminism. And I said because she had no hate to, I like Isabella, but she had like it came out she had a pretty promiscuous past, or there was like nudes on the internet, something like that. And I said, Isabella, when you did that, I think you just thought it was fun. I don't think you were coerced. I don't think, you were lied to. And I think you knew that it was the wrong thing to do.
And you didn't care.
Yeah, because I'm like, because I have a different perspective because I talk to women. Like, when you interview 1,000 people, it's a very interesting thing happens. it's like you see the same people in different bodies. Like it's the same personality, aura. Yeah. And so what would happen is I would interview women at like 19 and 20 and they don't give a shit. You know, they know being a whore is wrong, but they don't care. They're like, yeah, fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then I interview them at 30 and maybe they're different women, but I'd imagine the women at 30 acted that way at 19, you know. And that's when they start saying, oh, promiscuity is wrong. I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm like, no, you just thought it was fun. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I went to college. Like, I would get drunk and rollerblade. And my dad said I was an idiot.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't care. I was like, woo, rollerblade. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you know.
The whole phrase is that, like, oh my gosh, like, how do you know this is not about equality? Like, when women got the privilege of voting, not the right, but the privilege of voting, they did not demand the equality of the draft. I can't believe men are so stupid they just went along with that, right? So if they wanted equality, they would have demanded we have to be signed up for selective service as well. So right off the bat, like women aren't acting equal, right? When they have a chance for equality, they don't choose it, right? They don't choose 50% of like the manual labor construction jobs.
Equality.
This is about privilege and power. It's not about equality, right? From the very first thing, too. What are the political topics that women care about the most? Like
Being a whore.
Exactly. They want to get naked in public, like literally topless in New York. 2, they want to be able to sleep around with as many guys as they want. And 3, they damn well know where babies come from. They want to make as many babies as they want and kill them as often as they want, right? So like to be a whore, to be a whore and to kill their babies. Those are the 2 topics that women care about. And like you said earlier, Pearl, in one of your videos, like if women actually were if they were prioritizing monogamy and they were just, they were the more pure, sexually pure, tender, wonderful, then when they were actually at their top value, their youth, right, for the rest of their life, they're trying to preserve their youth with all of these products in their teens and their 20s, they would literally pick one man, make him feel special, and stay with him for life. But that's not what we see that they do, right? They want to be as promiscuous as possible in their teens and their 20s, and then even start thinking about having a husband until their 30s, right, when their value starts to go down. So if women are monogamous and all wonderful, why are they sleeping around so much? Like, you know, why are they not picking a husband? Like there's, you know, and the thing is too is like you say, like most men don't have the ability to sleep around, right? So we're talking about like the top 5 to 20% of men have the wealth, the height, the looks, you know, the game to sleep around. So yeah, 5 to 20% of men have a high body count. 80% of men they have super low body counts or are virgins, you know? Like so, but it's just because how easy it is. Like, but for women though, like about almost 100% of women have high body counts. It's just so easy. If they want to have sex, they go up to a guy, hey, you want to have sex? The guy's like, yeah, you know, that's how easy it is.
Well,
like, it's not that easy for a guy.
Now because of dating apps. Like before, women had to be worried about their reputation, and you would have to have the social skill. I mean, not that you need that many social skills, but I'd imagine that's like some sort of a buffer. Like you have to go to the bar. Like, but now it's like, well, a woman can download an app, go to a different town, no one would ever know.
Exactly.
So there's no like even like oh my gosh, what irritates me is these trad cons. I've interviewed 1,000 people. None of them have, but they're not blind. The CDC says the average body count for a woman is 5 to 8. We all know that's full shit.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
we all know that's what I'm hearing for the men is they're like, you know,
in high school. Yeah.
From the men, I hear I'll take 15. That's not bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm like, what? Or like, you know, they're like 5 to 8. It's a virgin.
Exactly.
Women, what I realized is the trad women don't want that to be revealed.
Absolutely.
Because if that's revealed, they look bad too, because none of them got married at 20. They all got married at 30, just like everyone else. They did the exact same thing. Yeah. But they're all like playing pretend like this hookup culture isn't going on. I'm like, why are you guys like playing dumb?
They're not even traditional. They are dating in church. What do you think is happening in church? Your kids are dating. Your kids are boinking. Like, what do you... What are you doing? They're not endorsing arranged marriages.
Exactly.
That's the only solution. That's the only solution. There is no other solution. Watch Joel's video on game on how to get a woman to submit to you, how to posture her. But your kids, you gotta arrange their marriage. You got to. No ifs, ands. Don't let the girl have a tantrum and you feel bad for her. Women are master manipulators. They need an arranged marriages. They don't know better. Like, they don't. And these churches aren't saying that.
Yeah.
They're not saying that. Women
They still
aren't
say-
aren't even transparent or whatever. You know, I'm picking on her, but it's a whole motley crew to pick from. You know, they're not being transparent about their past, about their mistakes, about what they wish they had done differently. They're not even correcting women. They're correcting the men. Oh, the men should do this. The men should do that.
It always goes
Bitch,
back
shut
to
the fuck
man.
up. Talk about
But
the
what
women.
about the men syndrome? But what about the men do? You know,
You're a woman. Talk to the woman. The men police each other constantly. Men are constantly policing each other. Even in an over feminine way. Oh, you should be more whatever. You know, the women aren't policing each other because they're afraid of women.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and let's just find today. Sorry, Lauren.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
What
She puts herself out there.
You know, I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, I think she's 30, right? I think she's been with her husband since he was 20, she was 22. So, okay, I mean, that's better than most, you know, I'll give her that. But I'm like, how have you not had kids the last decade? Seems like there's some, I mean, I know you can track your ovulation, but I don't know, my parents tried that. And so it's like, it's possible. You know, it's just, are you really not on birth control, really? Are we going to play pretend?
Mm-hmm.
Are you really having as many kids as your husband wants? Are we really? I don't know.
Well, a lot of women go crazy when they have kids, Pearl. Like, women lose their freaking cadoodles when they have kids. So a lot of guys are, like, daunted. They're like, we're having a good time right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're romantic. We have free time. We have each other. You know, the house is peaceful. And sure, there's around 60-70% of guys who do want kids. But a lot of guys, like, because they have no leverage in their marriage, and they're basically locked in by virtue signaling, because they're not, the divorce isn't always on the table for them, because they're not, like, in biblical times, it was like saying, you're being put away. That's what it was. It wasn't divorce, like now the agreement is void. It's like you're being put away, which is basically you're getting kicked out of the house until you get your act together, and then you can come back in.
The women?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't like we signed a contract, now the contract's done. It's like you're being, the Hebrew word is gerush, gerusha. So you're just being like shunned, like you've been bad, you're either can beg for food on the street, go back to your parents' house, go to a homeless shelter, you know, figure it out for yourself, but like you get the privilege of my provision when you behave yourselves. And so guys don't have that leverage anymore. So they're like, once she has the kids, her demands are going through the roof. Like they think they're appeasing
That's
the woman.
that's why the women go crazy after they have the kids, is they have leverage.
They have more leverage than ever
more
before.
leverage, for sure.
You know, they think they've appeased the woman's demands. Oh, she wanted a kid. I gave her a kid. Things are cool. You know, like psych, dude. Her demands are through the roof. We need this, that, this, that, this, that, and like
Psych, dude?
like psych, like.
Huh? Oh, sorry. Keep going.
It's
Okay.
cool. Like, just kidding. She fooled you. She fooled you. It's not like now she has fewer demands. Now there are more demands. There are more things to provide.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
So it's very stressful to a man, especially in this economy when women are flooding the workforce and each job is less valuable.
And they're taxing their income too.
The tax is outrageous. Back in the day, we'd go to war over these taxes. Now we're just like taking it, you know. But guys are daunted to have kids. You know, they have less leverage. It's very stressful. It's not like back in the day where a kid would actually be helpful for you on the farm, and it wouldn't actually take an arm and a leg to provide for them.
Well, what my point was more, I just think I think a lot of conservatives are on birth control like everybody else, but they play pretend and denounce it.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me.
Yeah, exactly. We're fine with birth control. We think, you know, I think that's an anti-Catholic position, but you know, but yeah, we think that's responsible. You know,
This is the shit we're supposed to bring kids into. You know, this is not. We're not very popular for this stance, but we don't think bringing more babies into a shit situation is going to fix the situation.
Yeah, Tim Katz says having babies is going to solve the problem, and no, it won't. Like conservatives keep having babies, and the problem's not getting solved; it's getting worse, right? So here's what happens: like if you have babies, number one, oh my gosh, then you're going to be put through the ringer, like we talked about all the single time. She's going to sue your kids, and then your life's going to be devastated, and you're going to unalive yourself. You know, like but if you have kids now. All of your time and energy and money is dedicated to raising those kids, right? Oh my gosh, they're breaking something, or I got to teach them, or like, you know, so you can't actually dedicate your time and your energy and your money towards actually like fixing this problem, right? all of your focus is on the kids now. You're not going to be able to fix the problem. And then also too, the left controls every major institution in this country. They're going to groom the kids to be leftist.
That's the other thing. I'm like, Jordan Peterson's daughter's a whore. What do you guys have?
Exactly. So exactly. Yeah.
No.
So these are the solutions to this problem. Just to make sure I fit in it. Okay. So number one, if this is the cowardly way. If guys will be cowards and not be men, this is what they can do. They can wait till another economic collapse. We're over $35 trillion in debt, so that's actually going to happen pretty soon. It'll be worse than the Great Depression, and at that point, all of the fluff girl jobs will be gone, and they'll want to do the easy jobs at home, and the guys will be doing the hard labor.
When would you predict that will happen?
I'm actually surprised that hasn't happened already, actually. So I think things became too late actually with Obama. That's when the debt started skyrocketing really high. I know it started a little bit before that with Bush, in Iraq and everything, but that's when it really started going up. Unfortunately, and it's just got even worse. Okay, so economic collapse. 2, the next World War, that just seems to be a ruin. At that point, they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, we said we were strong and independent. Nope, we're weak and independent. We'll stay at home. We're not going to fight that war. Right. So a war. Or men could actually be men and fix the situation in advance. And so we wouldn't have thinking their own personal privilege and power in the moment, right? They're not thinking about what's best for everyone, what's best for the man, what's best for the kids, what's best for other women. And they don't even realize how what they're doing right now is going to hurt themselves later on in their own life, right? That's why they sleep around their teens and 20s and think they're going to marry a Prince Charming later on. So it's a waste of time to talk about women, but that's okay because women don't have any actual real physical power. It all boils down to physical power, right? And the liberal men are women as well. They're not strong men, so they actually don't have any physical power either. So the real power lies with the conservative men, so 25% of the population. I know we're not going to get them all, but if we could get half of conservative men to unify, and this is the thing that this is one of guys' flaws, right? They just won't unify. They're too sneaking darn independent and they're too stubborn and independent, right? So where women realize that they have no power unless they unify, right? And they terrorize the men, which is what they did in 1920, 1916, 2010. Right. So if we can just get half of conservative men, so 12% of the total population, that's 41 million men, we could change everything. 41 million men unify online, go down to DC, change the laws. That's how we could do it without a Great Depression or World War.
Right. So what do you think? Because didn't they kind of try to do that? And I don't know the ins and outs, so I could be wrong. But didn't they try to do that with January 6th?
No. They were almost all of them were just peacefully protesting outside, just hey, we know the election was stolen. We're not okay with it. We know it. And
so you're saying what would they do at this? What would the conservative men do? How would they get them to change the laws? They would just stand there, or what? They'd force them?
They would
They literally, they literally could go to the Congress building and say, "Hey, we're changing the laws. These are harmful. This is not for the general welfare of the people." And literally, it's constitutional to do that.
What laws would you change?
Okay, awesome. We're gonna abolish alimony. No alimony at all. The only way you get money from your husband is if you're married to him and you do him good, not evil, all the days of his life, and you're obeying him. If you want your man to protect and die for you, what are you going to do in return for him? You have to do something. You have to obey him. Do domestic chores. Have sex with them. Exactly. It's so crazy. How abominable is the fact that a woman can literally legally steal and extort money from a husband? She could commit adultery with another guy while she's married, marry that guy, and her current husband that she cheated on still has to pay her alimony in some cases.
It's his fault.
She steals his kids and he has to pay child support. That's just as abominable as if a man cheated on his wife, marries that new woman, and then literally is able to legally force the former wife to do everything that she was doing in the marriage. She's got to come over and be the maid, do domestic chores. He still gets to have sex with her whenever he wants, and then she still has to obey him. It's crazy, right? They would never stand for it. It's so freaking wrong. It's absolutely wrong. So the only people that are getting raped in this country are men. Men are getting raped across the board. They're literally treated as second-class citizens.
Yeah.
They're treated as second-class citizens. They'll get looked over because they were born the unlucky gender, whether it comes to college or it comes to jobs, etc. Women just are naturally seen as they own the children. Men don't even have 50% rights to their children.
Right.
Women women can literally kill the baby. But if the guy wants it, he's gonna take care of it. She can walk away. He can't make her have the baby, right? And so if she tricks him and says, "Oh yeah, I'm on birth control," or "Oh yeah, I'm not ovulating right now," or blah 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 blah, and so if she knows that he's just in it for the sex, and since she says she's not ovulating or whatever, or she says she's on birth control, and most guys don't verify that. That's just the point. And so he was just in it for the sex. She knows that, but she wants a baby, and she's going to get it at all costs. She can have that baby. The guy never wanted to be a father, and then she can extort him for money for the next 18 years. Like, it's a grift. Like, it's a scam. They know what they're doing.
Right.
You know, like that's crazy. Okay, if a woman wants to do that, okay, that's unethical and immoral. Fine, but you should not be able to legally steal from a guy. Like, you're on your own. And so then abolish child support.
Yeah.
That it's so crazy. The conservatives and Republicans are like, oh no, we love child support. That's literally making this problem continue and worse. All right, so no child support. I would out just like the Bible says, women aren't allowed to divorce. With that freedom, they just divorce all the time. Like, I felt like a divorce. So 70% of the divorces filed are done by women, and 80% of their 76% of their reason filed is irreconcilable differences. It's not because of abuse. It's not because of addiction. It's not because of all this other crap. 1% is because of abuse. 4% is because of addiction, and it's like 19% is because of adultery. And usually that's the woman actually.
So I have
doing
a
it.
question. Do you would you?
And we would and take away the 19th as well.
Yeah.
So,
thank God.
I don't think women should work either, personally, not for money.
And then we would outlaw women working and work for money. They can do work, just not for money.
So what do you think about maybe get rid of women's bank accounts too?
Yeah. That's
I
all
was thinking
all history.
like, because my dad has access to mine. I'm like, I would not even care if my dad, like, whatever. But okay, but for the divorce, like, my thought, the only pushback I would have is, as a guy, why would you want a chick there that doesn't want to be?
Well, like it says in the Bible that, like, people never read. Like, if the woman's being rebellious and she's not doing anything she's supposed to do as a wife, the man's allowed to put her away.
Oh, okay. So then
And
she's just
exactly, and then and back then exactly.
Divorce is like a,
So basically separate from her, and then she didn't have all of society catering to her, protecting and providing for her. So it would suck. So the guy actually had leverage. If the woman was so if the woman was being an evil bitch, the guy's like, okay, you're not getting my protection, my provision, my love. Okay, then you're not getting that. And then she'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm outside. This freaking sucks. Okay, sorry. I want your protection, provision, and love. Okay, sorry, I'll be good.
Okay.
I'll actually.
So that would look like, just using you guys as an example. So if you decided tomorrow, I'm not doing shit around the house, you would get kicked out in this scenario, and then would she be divorced then?
So
that would be put away. Yeah. By biblical standards.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking like today.
Yeah, right. I catch you.
That okay. So like
but he would divorce her.
Yes, he would have to initiate it.
Yeah. Oh, because the men wouldn't be bitches anymore.
Yeah. So here's our other solution too. When it comes to like dating and marriage. So with the way the current situation is, like, number one, all men that can should go MGTOW. Like, preferably don't have anything to do with women whatsoever. Like, their lifeblood is your attention, and women need your protection. Like, they need men's protection. So not only do they want men, without men's protection, they just die.
Right.
And without their provision, they do that too.
Right.
Like, if you look at Naked and Afraid, like, women can't survive on their own. Like, they
I think more men are doing it too. MGTOW.
Yeah. So MGTOW first and foremost. Like, now if you can't emotionally do that, okay, well then I have the game video for that, right? So in like a very alpha, like, domineering fashion, like, vet her initially, and I'll have to talk with her too. Say that, like, obedience is required, like, in the dating process, and if at any time she reneges and that's not, then you're gonna break up with her or divorce her. So
don't marry legally.
Exactly, and if you do get married, don't get married by the state. So like that just allows her to legally extort you. But if you're not legally married by the state, then you can't. They didn't have legal state government marriage throughout all of history. This is a recent social construct.
And then even children give her leverage. So
and the children belong to the men. If we had to redo that, and that's how it's been for all of history. The woman was, like, under the protection, therefore he had authority over her. Same goes for the children. The man has the authority over the children. The children belong to the man. I was telling Joel, like, the irony about these trad cons is that they, like, in the spirit of standing on the fence to hop over what side, like, they actually want more government. They're not even conservatives. You guys aren't even conservatives. They want more government to enforce manufactured laws to where life doesn't have its consequences. You guys want child support? That's extra government. You guys want alimony? That's extra government. I thought you said you wanted less government.
Yeah. Anytime like the government gets involved, there's corruption and there's waste and people abuse the system, right? So like before we had all of these like socialist like welfare programs going back to 100 years, around World War One is when it started. Before that, everyone was taken care of. Everyone was fine. We actually had less homeless. You know, we didn't have single moms everywhere. You know, like there weren't people starving and dying on the street, you know, etc. So people do it much better on a local level.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so like basically like churches and also family members were generous if that person deserved it. But if a person is being like a total piece of shit, your family and the church and your local community would know that, and they wouldn't help someone who's purposely being bad. So like a woman, like right, she's being a bad woman to her husband and she just leaves. Then the community would be like, no, we're not taking care of you.
But if she was a good woman and he just wanted to go leave with the hot young secretary to take care of her.
Exactly. So see, the government's not going to know the details, but the local people in the area are going to know the details.
Right.
Yep. So it's so crazy. Like in our society, like women's like expectations keep going through the roof, but like everyone agrees that men have to protect and die, and they have to slave and work for women. And then no one thinks that women have to do anything for men. It's freaking crazy. But so he has to do that for you, and he's going to do that for someone who's rebellious, who's just going to like cheat on him and leave him later and steal his money and steal his kids.
I'll tell you.
You know, you don't have to obey him.
I'll tell you what. My boyfriend said that
So-
trad women miss the point. He said they'll put on a dress, they'll cook, they'll clean, and they think that's what we want. When all we want is for you to be nice to us. That's what he said.
I've been saying that my whole life. Exactly.
Outrageous.
Exactly. It's outrageous.
He said,
Yeah.
I can cook for myself. I can clean. I don't really. He's like, it's nice, but I don't really. He's like, they think it's about the cooking and the cleaning, but we just want you to be nice.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
The reason I got rewarded by Joel was because I didn't expect anything from him. I showed up without expecting anything other than his attention. Like, I didn't expect a ring. I didn't expect to stay at home and not work. I didn't expect any of that. And I was pleasantly surprised when I was rewarded. But like the primary thing was that I wanted his company, you know, and I didn't feel entitled to his company if I was a bitch. And so like that's, you know, the women are entering with all of these lists of demands. And so, like I say, the more she expects, the less she deserves. You know, you should be grateful for everything you get. And the women just don't have a grateful, like, they've been spoiled all their life. I mean, this is the most spoiled generation ever. And they don't know what it's like not to have hot showers. They don't know what it's like, you know, not to, or anything like that.
One thing you made me think about was you said, I think we were talking one day, you said hypergamy's bad. And I never thought about it like that. Because I kind of the way I thought about it was, I mean, yeah, you want a guy that's going to protect you, get the best you can get. But I didn't think about how that never ends. You're right.
It never ends. It never ends. Exactly. Yeah. We talked about this for 5 hours on dating, like 2 years ago. So like the thing is, there's always going to be someone hotter. There's always going to be someone richer, you know, like. So if you keep that mentality going, like you'll never stay married. Like we've been totally lied to. Like dating is a scam. Like it's a total scam. It doesn't work. Like the only way people actually get married and stay together is if they settle. It's called settling down. Yeah. Like you will never have a spouse unless you settle down. Unless you settle and you continually settle. That's
what marriage is. Marriage is settling.
But we're told constantly. Yeah, we're told constantly that you're not supposed to do that. That's evil. Like you should never settle. If you never settle, you'll be single for life.
Right. Because there's always someone better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the crazy thing is too is like you don't really get to pick like who you marry. Like you only get to pick from those people that like you back. Right. And it's never going to be that person you're being hypergamous towards.
And you don't even know what that person's actually like. Because I think women like the idea. Like, I was even thinking about, I did a stream recently about, like, rich men, how women want. And I'm like, do you guys really know what that comes with? I mean, I don't know. Most women, like, we have an attention need, you know? And I'm like, you realize rich men work, like, a lot. Yeah. Like, 80, you know. They're not going to have time. Like, I saw this video that this one was talking about marrying an investment banker. Yeah, and she's like, you want to go overseas? Where will you be? Alone. You're going to date, dinner.
Trust fund, finance. I was like, wow, this is not even parody. Like, this girl's being serious. I was like, this would be parody back in my day. This is crazy.
I know. And I'm like, because my dad worked, and he doesn't, like, now I get to see him a lot more, but I'm like, you realize he would go for like 2 weeks at a time. Can you be loyal, not talk to other men in that time? I mean, most women, I think you have attention.
Definitely not, especially with social media.
Yeah.
For the last 64 years, like, so if the guy is making more money like the woman wants, then he's never home. They're not spending time. Then they it's so true. Then they divorce him and leave him because he's not spending enough time with them.
Then they go get a broke guy.
But then exactly. But then the next guy they go get is the guy that is spending all the time with them. That's the guy that they cheated on their rich husband with, and he's spending all the time with them. But then they go ahead and cheat and leave him, divorce him because he's not making enough money. He's not spending more of his time at work. So that means they never get a husband. So this is why women shouldn't be like they're not logical. They're not logical at all. It's just okay. So you tell me if women are men, adults, or if they're children. Like this is a women's mentality right here. Gimme. I want this. I want that. I want that at a grocery store. I want that. I want that. You know, so are women adults like men, or are they children? You know. So
the thing about hypergamy is just like Joel said, it's constantly want more and more, and that's why arranged marriages was like key because
that's why it's a signal of matriarchy, because that means women are in control of who they're dating and they have the leverage when they are hypergamous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say? Yeah.
Some conservatives want to dilute arranged marriages, and they're like, oh, I'll give her 5 guys to choose from. She's just gonna pick the hottest guy from those 5 guys. She's not picking based on good things, like if he seems loyal, smart, diligent, honest. She's not going to pick based on those qualities. The father knows how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, they don't know how to pick. They just are constantly thinking, and it's a hive mind thing. They want whoever the other girls want. So, hypergamy is actually a flaw. Just like promiscuity is for men, like Joel says, you know. That's why they arranged the marriage at the young age before the guy became anything. Because this is who the guy is at his core. You're not marrying him for what he has. You're not marrying him sure, potential. I think fathers would probably look for that, you know. But basically a good guy, a stand-up good guy. And women want the bad guy. So, you know, even their hypergamy scale is off. They don't even know what a good.
And they get the bad guy to settle down, and they don't want him anymore.
And Lauren Chin says she doesn't have a problem with hypergamy. I was like, red flag, hello.
Oh my God. Of course she doesn't. Yeah. So if men were to apply hypergamy, this is what it would look like. So a guy gets married to a girl, and then as she gets older, and then now she's ugly, fat. Maybe she doesn't cook very well. Maybe she's a bitch. She's not obeying you. Then the guy's perfectly fine to divorce her and marry a younger woman, or just the ugly and fat part. If she gets ugly and fat, okay, no, I'm gonna divorce her. I'm gonna go get a younger wife that's prettier. So if everyone's doing hypergamy, nobody stays married. And women would absolutely hate it. They would lose their shit if hypergamy was applied. If the guy was applying hypergamy to them, the other way. They expect loyalty, no matter what. So
I wanted to talk about the protection and provision, and that kind of talks into the double standards. We think there should be double standards, different standards for women as there are for men, 2 different standards. But the women who are feigning equality, they're not actually practicing that. So that's where that term double standard comes in. You're saying that you're equal, but you're actually giving yourself privilege. And so the women say, oh, he has to protect and provide. And if he doesn't, then I don't have to submit. And, if you're not submitting, then he doesn't have to protect and provide. Have you ever thought that it doesn't go the other way around? I remember, I think one of your last panels, and we're so glad you stopped doing that. Literally, your content now is so much better without this one. You're actually addressing,
we're thrilled.
It's becoming meatier and better. You know, these girls, they literally just killed my brain cells. I literally feel my brain cells dying listening to them.
We hated the panels. We love your mom.
I even prefer talking to women like Chen, because they can at least think a little bit. I'm not saying she's wrong about stuff, but God, the bimbos and one. Oh, fuck.
So one of the girls said, oh, I married young, but he wouldn't provide for me. And you asked, what didn't he provide? This is guys, if she has a roof over her head and food in her tummy, she's provided for it. You're not, it's your money. You don't have to spend it on frivolous, dumb stuff like shoes and skirts and purses and nails and lashes and all that stuff. You asked her, what didn't he provide for her? And she was like, I literally had to beg for him, for money. And you were like, money for what? To get my nails done. I was like, this woman deserves
Exactly.
to be begging on the side of the road.
If you have food and shelter, you're provided for. Yeah.
I don't need to get my nails done. Like,
I know.
the fact that it's a requirement.
I was just like, this is Delulu.
I'll do it sometimes, but honestly, I'm too, like, really? That's what we have to maintain? What?
Yeah.
He wouldn't pay for my nails. He wasn't providing for me. I'm like, you are so freaking spoiled, man. You know, by our like wicked women who abandon their men, who neglect them, they're gonna burn. Like, you know, biblical or not. Like, it's just, you are evil. You are evil.
Yeah, I want to throw this science out there too, just, you know, because we don't have too much time left to make sure it gets out there. So a lot of people don't understand why that there's why is virginity so important for the woman, you know? And we just recently saw this documentary not too long ago. It was like around 6 months ago, like by Pete Rambo. He interviews a pathologist, which is a lab scientist. And so science is just now catching up to like why God said certain things the way he said it. It's based on the design. So number one, you know, I just saw like a gaslighting TED talk about this the other day, but 99% of women have like a hymen, and it only gets broken through like penetration. So God designed a hymen literally for proof of virginity. Like, okay, so why is that? So like when semen enters a woman's body, like the male DNA is dominant, and actually it dominates her gene and conforms her gene to his gene. So now his DNA is in her. So like that's how the two become one. So she's literally conformed to whichever guy splooges inside of her, you know, like she conforms to that guy. Literally that guy's inside of her now. Like that's why, like, so God didn't intend for dating to exist. It's not the design. So it's no wonder why dating's not working. It's literally the opposite of the design. So that doesn't happen the other way around, right? So like the more partners a woman has, like it becomes actually just impossible for her to be loyal, you know. And she has all these different guys DNA her, and they're competing, etc. Blah blah blah. And if she has a kid by a guy, then it's even harder. She has even more DNA from him, her permanently inside of her, you know. So like the only way that like it can be overcome, like if they have like a lot of sex for a long period of time, it's still difficult. It's not perfect. But that's why it exists, right? And that doesn't happen the other way around. So and girls don't even care if the guy's a virgin. In fact, like the girls actually want to be with the guy that's the most sexually experienced. They actually like if the guy's promiscuous. Yeah. They don't want virgins because their psychology says, like I said in game, if the guy's a virgin, then the girl's like, oh, no women want him, I shouldn't either. Because women are hive mind, like lemming clones, right? Like women, exactly. Like independent, women think the way other women think. They do what other women do. They just want to fit in, right? The hive mind. And so like for guys, like they would love that. They would love a virgin. Like, oh, wow, this is special. But for a girl, they're like, oh my gosh, if this guy's getting all the girls, he must have some magic about him. I should want him too because he's better. They want to be with the top guy. So that's why this double standard exists, and it's perfectly fine that it exists. You know, like how it worked throughout all of history. I remember like used to say, not recently anymore, but like there's this 99% of people like had an arranged marriage throughout history and were able to reproduce, you know. So like, you know, like, so how it worked through all of history was like you'd have two families and they had kids and they were friends and they would partner up their sons and daughters together, or like a young man would ask the father to have his daughter in marriage, and the dad would get to know him a little bit, and unless he was egregiously bad, it's not that they were like, you know, he was looking for if he was rich or hot, is that he had to have a serious defective character. Like if he was like a super player and he never married any of the girls, or if this guy was a criminal, like if he was a murderer, if he was like a drug addict. So there would have to be something seriously wrong with him for him to say no. So most of the time he said yes. And then the girl was thrilled that she got to have a husband, etc. Like, so there was no picking at all. And that's actually the only way it works, you know. And so, you know, we talked about that in dating. So like arranged marriages was the only game in town, regardless of time, continent, or religion. Everyone had an arranged marriage. There wasn't dating, you know. And so people didn't start dating until about 100 years ago. Right. And now we're in the shit show that we're in now, you know. Yeah.
But everybody used to reproduce. That's
yeah. So
like harems were a thing, but everybody did it.
Yeah. So everyone got married in their teens, and almost everybody had kids. You know. Yeah. So what we're seeing now is an anomaly. This has never happened in the history of the world before, and it's only happening because of dating and because of women's hypergamous evil nature, right? They want the richest and hottest guy, but here's the thing: is the richest and hottest guy doesn't want them. He's never.
Honestly, these days it's like they don't want anyone. They're like, fuck these hoes. I'll take 10 of you. Just go on with my life.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about it every day. So so the girls are going for like the top like 5% of men.
Yeah.
So if 100% of women want 5% of men, okay, that means 95% of guys don't get a wife. And what that means is the guys aren't going to marry any of them. Why would they pick five? Why would they just pick one woman when they can have 1,000? The rich hot guys are never going to marry you. It's only going to be that nice guy, the average guy, the normal guy that likes you that you think is just not good enough. That's the only guy that's willing to marry you. It's so crazy. Like women are trying to date way out of their league, and it's supply and demand. And so, the fact is, none of those guys are going to marry any of these girls. They're not going to marry at all, So it's not a choice between, I want a hot rich guy or an average normal nice guy. It's you take a normal nice average guy or you get no guy. That's the choice.
Right.
Normal average guy in your league or no guy.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to get the hot rich guy. The hot rich guy doesn't marry. He doesn't have to. He doesn't. He plays the field because again he hooks up with all the girls and either never gets married or he marries a 10 way later on when he's 50,
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what kind of red pilled me a little bit. It was like one of these one of these tradcon dudes that like high value men shouldn't cheat, high value men should this guy was this happened to me like probably 3 times. Same guy, same argument, different body, where they would say that like it's wrong if high value men cheat. Well, one guy I found out he was sleeping with like 3 chicks from the show.
Yeah.
The other guy did like threesomes with his girlfriend.
Right. You're saying that.
Yeah. So I was like,
wow.
You guys are doing why are you guys lying? Like, just be honest. I mean, I'm not
they're
saying
doing the world a disservice.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't have to say like I'd never say who because that's the personal stuff. So I'm like, you don't have to say like your stuff, but like be honest about like the reality of the situation. It's not should or shouldn't they do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like
also, like virgin was synonymous with maiden. Like there were no men are never referred to as virgins. Oh, let's go snatch up some virgins. Wait, do you mean virgin men? Like no, we're talking about like men were not referred to as virgins. So it's not
exactly.
It was never seen as a valuable they're told not to fornicate. Well, I'm not saying that I want there to be a village prostitute, but there usually was, and she had a purpose. She had a service.
So like the term virgin literally means a young woman who has not had sex with a man yet. That's the definition of it.
So the virginity thing isn't foolproof nowadays, especially. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The virginity thing isn't like foolproof, like as you've seen.
Yeah.
There are wicked girls, even country girls that are coming to the city. It's not foolproof, but it is. But the cases are actually a minority. The rule is generally girls that are virgins don't leave. They don't feel comfortable. But then again, like guys have to keep tabs on their women's social media. Like if a girl's not giving you your password, that's an ixnay. That's an ixnay, guys. What is this like insecurity, like privacy? No, there's no such thing as privacy in marriage. You forfeited that. So. It isn't foolproof, but like those cases are the exception. The rule generally applies, and they notice this with all of they do experiments on like fruit flies and rats and bunnies, and this is how it happens.
The virgins now are old, and that's why they're weird.
Well, yeah, that's what we
were talking about.
Yeah, we're like something's usually off about a woman because it's not natural to wait. Like Trent Horn said, wait till you're 25 to marry.
No,
oh my God.
What you are the problem. Yeah, something is wrong with you.
I've never met one of those for the record.
Well, I've met
something is wrong with you.
That's
it's not natural.
There's 3 things I identified because I couldn't figure out why I kept hearing from men that they didn't want virgins, and it wasn't just one; it was multiple. And at first, I thought they were virtue signaling until I met Hodge twins. He said, "Oh, I married a virgin. It was terrible." Now, don't get me wrong, a young virgin, ideal. But the problem is if they're over, like, I don't know, maybe 22, 23, a lot of the times they're either asexual, so they don't really like to have sex. They just don't really have a sex drive. Mm-hmm. They're told their virginity is the only thing they should have to offer, and they don't have to do anything else.
For sure, yeah.
or they're either too hypergamous.
Right.
Wow.
Nobody's ever good
For
enough.
sure.
I found that
Yeah.
one of the virgins that, and I really liked her, but I've met, like, she wanted to, like, she was trying to date a billionaire. It's like,
Wow.
good luck.
Wow.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
I want to
my
be a
gosh.
billionaire.
Yeah, but it's like,
So-
where do the point,
wanna
like,
walk
the
on
virgins think that, like, that's the only thing they have to bring.
Yep.
To get the hot rich guy.
So, so check this
But
out.
they're better. I'm not
Yeah.
discounting that they're better. Like, the
Yeah.
virgins,
I
absolutely
mean, a
better.
young virgin can only be insured by her father.
Yeah.
Him
Yeah.
providing her a husband at a young age. If he's not
Correct.
providing her a husband at a young age,
Oh, and the virgins.
what do you mean?
They've, like, blown a bunch of people.
Exactly,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Exactly, guys. For all the
Like,
yeah, oh, for literally everyone in this space, guys. When girls give their body count, they're only counting vaginal intercourse,
yeah.
right? But like, what the number that really counts is if you've been naked with a man. If you've been naked with a man you guys touched, that counts as a sexual partner, right? Like, so all the other sexual activities count. It's not it's not just vaginal intercourse, you know. So they're artificially trying to keep their number low.
Yeah.
You know, and like a lot of those girls were lying when they did the Fresh and Fit panel, and they said like their number, they're only counting like P and the V. They're not counting
Yeah.
all the other, and clearly that's what everyone means, you know. Like,
Yeah.
so like, let me get this straight. So, which would you rather take? Like a girl that has a body count of 1, right? You had vaginal intercourse with one guy, or this girl's blown 50 guys, right? So like, everyone would pick the one,
Yeah.
right? So she's like, yeah, I'm a virgin. I didn't put V in the
yeah.
V, 50,
And so it's
50,
like
50
just
DJs,
not
you know.
done. And that's the
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
with old virgins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
for sure. I mean, Trent
So-
Horn is like, oh, you wait till you're 25, 27. This guy's a liar. He's a shill. Honestly, they just want. This is why
He's a
people
piece of
don't
shit.
trust Trent Horn or Michael Knowles, because they're like, oh, it's just the problem is your church, or even Lauren Shannon. Just go to a church.
It's such bullshit.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
need a church
Like-
to have a patriarchal marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, people don't trust these people because they know, like, they just want your money. Bring your money to my church. Bring your
Yeah, yeah,
money to my
exactly.
institution, guys. We're
Yeah.
on to you. It's not working, and it's wicked. Honestly, it's corrupt. But like, if a woman waits, and like, they're generally autistic. Like, if you're a virgin at 27, man or woman. Like, for men, it's a lot more difficult. So I would say definitely for women, if you're a virgin at 25 or 27, like, you're autistic, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. So
Correct.
it's,
Like-
that's.
I remember,
So-
by the way, Sandman called you autistic, and he was like, "That's a compliment." I was like, "Oh, I punch this guy!" Like, don't be messing with my pearl.
Who's
It's
Sam?
not
Sam who?
Sandman.
Oh, Sandman.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
Oh my
They
gosh.
call everyone autistic.
So see, man, like
Yeah.
I knew about him way back in the day when it first
Yeah.
came out, and like a couple things. Like I understand like why he covers his face, but like, bro, we're never gonna make any progress if you do that. You know, like that's cowardly. People have to have a face, and at least the first name, like behind it.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to have a face and a name. Like, if you're too cowardly, why would you expect any other men to join you?
Mhm.
Like, and then he'd rather have like girl robots than literally just express dominance. Like like for girls, like, reward good behavior, punish bad behavior. So that's how everyone works too. So the way you get more good behavior is you reward good behavior, and the way you get less bad behavior is you punish bad behavior. But we're not doing that with women.
Right.
We're actually, we actually keep rewarding bad behavior.
Yeah.
We keep spoiling them when they're spoiled brats and like, well, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it
Does,
So,
does the audience know our names, by the way?
oh shoot. Okay, so Joel and Leor,
we can
what's the
do,
culture
like-
through God's eyes?
We can do one before we leave. We could do like a video outside or like at the
Like
front.
intro,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
like yeah.
Awesome. But like with what we were talking about, like with sex, like early on, it's all virtue signaling, and no one's actually doing what like they're talking about. So like I was raised like in church, and they were very against premarital sex, and they're like, oh yeah, you just wait till you're 30 and you're married. Except nobody does. That's the problem. So and no one did throughout all of history, and that's not the design. So like God designed you to go through puberty at 11. That's when your sex drive kicks in. You think anyone's going to wait till 30? They're not. So like when I was in school, everyone was having sex. The average age, you can look it up on Google, was 17.
Okay.
And but today it's less. 15 and a half is the average age that people have sex at.
No way.
And yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yep, 15 and a half. And like so and a lot of people even do it in middle school. It's less, it's like a
Yeah.
third. But like it can happen even in middle school. I knew some people that were having sexual activity in middle school. But like my first girlfriend, I was 17, she was 18, and she had 3 partners before me. And we went to the same church with the same no premarital sex message. And exactly, it's such bullcrap. And then like another lady, I talked about this in game. Another lady I dated later on, like I was in my 20s and she was 42, and she was a born again virgin. And I thought she had like one long-term partner before me, and I kept pressing. I asked every single girl what her body count was. She had more than she counted. She had 50 plus partners. 50 plus partners, and she's like, I'm a born again virgin, and so I'm gonna wait. And I'm like, oh, okay. And we ended up having sexual activity on like the second or third date. Anyway, like, and she stressed how important that was to her. It's just bullcrap. So no one's actually doing this. Okay, so like
about finding a good woman.
How you find a good woman? Gotcha. Okay, yeah, we got some shorts and videos on that. So the thing is that everyone is going to have sex in their teens.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Because that's God's design. They've been doing that through all of history. You go through puberty 11. You can wait till your teens, but you're not waiting. You're not waiting past that.
Yeah.
Just straight up. So that's why they had arranged marriages early on, so like you could actually express that desire in like a healthy, safe, moral context.
Yeah.
So like churches and Republicans like literally are are contributing to this problem. So they're like, oh yeah, you have to be a virgin until you're married, but you can't get married young. You can only get married when you're 30. So the only way you're gonna like solve like the rampant promiscuity like fornication problem is if you allow arranged marriages and you allow them at an early age. You know,
Yeah.
so that's the only solution. That's how you solve hypergamy. That's how you solve promiscuity. That's how you solve motherhood.
A bond too, because like
STDs.
she doesn't know as much.
Exactly,
Yeah, she can't
exactly.
compare.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
couples that have been together for a very long time, they actually start to look kind of similarly because of that DNA blending. You know, they have same mannerisms and
Yeah.
talk, and that's natural, but they actually start to look alike after, decades of being together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So like.
And
yeah.
the way a father can ensure that, like we were talking, and we're like, well, how can a father enforce like arranged marriages? Well, you just don't give your daughter shit if she doesn't agree to do things your way. Same as a husband. Like husband is dad
Yeah.
number 2. Like you're gonna marry who I tell you to, or I won't pay for your wedding. I might disown you. You're not gonna be in the will.
Mhm.
Like you
Yeah.
have to earn. Like people are like everything. Christians be like, it's a free gift. It's a free gift. Show me one thing in life that is free that you haven't earned. You have to earn stuff. You have to demonstrate things. You have to work for stuff.
Mhm.
Free stuff just means you're taking advantage of something. Okay, Christians, you're just taking advantage
Right.
of grace, of whatever you want to call it, benevolence. And the trad-cons will say, oh, you find a good girl in church. You have to be in church to be patriarchal. You have to go to church to be godly. You don't have to go to church to be a biblical person. Hate to tell you. You don't have to be a member of an institution to give them money to be a biblical person.
Mhm.
And a lot
Right,
of people
so-
who are giving money in these institutions, they're not biblical at all. So
Right.
it's
Yeah,
a facade,
So
guys.
so churches are businesses, right? So they're not going to say anything that's going to hurt their business.
Right.
That's why they're not talking about the truth, right? So anything that's going to make people leave and not give them money, their customers, right? They're not going to say. That's why they don't talk about any of these issues. If they spoke against women, their business would go under. That's, so even Christians, like their favorite author, Paul.
Mhm.
Paul has more submission verses than any other author in the Bible. That's because for the first time in all of history, there was a little bit of feminism coming in. Like the same thing that happened after World War II happened with Rome. After all their civil wars, it was the Pax Romana, the Great Roman Peace.
Mhm.
And this was between 30 BC to 180 AD.
This would have been after this.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. First century AD, and so like the time of like the New Testament. So it was they defeated all their major enemies. So it was peace. They had relative peace, and they had prosperity,
Mhm.
right? So the construct of the social construct of feminism did peak up a little bit, and that's why Paul actually spoke out against it, more than anyone else, because it really didn't peak up for all intents and purposes for 4,000 years before that.
Mhm.
So that's why Paul has so many verses on it. He's like, nope, this is bad. Nope, this is
Right.
bad. This is self-destructive. This is going to lead to a horrible end. And so Christians, like, they pick and choose. Like,
Right.
even with Paul. So, like, sure, they don't like 85% of the Bible, Genesis to Malachi. But, like, they pick and choose with Paul, their favorite guy. And they say, oh, Paul is we interpret all the Bible through the light of Paul. Okay, they don't even do what Paul tells them to do. Paul, like, we have 43 verses listed.
You know what I should have said during that trend?
Yeah.
Because I think he reinterpreted something that Paul said And I should have said, so you think you know better than Paul?
It's corrupt.
When did
Exactly.
you know Jesus? Like, I'm not trying to, like, this is not his right-hand man. I'm not a scholar, but...
right. So the whole point of the Bible is to literally, like, no matter what culture you're in, right, you're supposed to conform to the Bible's culture, do what the Bible says against what the rest of your culture is doing. But that's not what most people do, like, in the West. They're like, they take the Bible and then they just twist it to fit whatever their culture is.
Right.
Hence feminism. Hence why they dismiss everything they don't like, and then they only apply the parts that they do like, and they twist it, and then they make their own personalized religion. So that's what's going on.
Wow.
So.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it's about that time.
Oh, just one last thing, baby, about the finding a good woman, because they keep
Okay.
saying this is where you find them in church.
So,
where
oh my gosh, yeah. So like, so I, I told, this was, not to embarrass Leora, but I a couple of videos I told them about their past because everyone's like, oh my God, Leora's amazing. She's Amish. How did you find that, Joel? Where did you find that? How can I find that? Where can I find a woman like Leora? And she wasn't like this before me. She was like a total secular girl, like that you guys would find out in dating 100%. She's like this because I taught her from scratch. So you're not going to find a good woman. That's not how good women are made, right?
Yeah.
They're not independent like guys. They're not brainy. They're
Maybe
like, okay, I did it. Yeah, exactly. So the only good women like you're talking about that are good on their own, they were taught to be good by their dad, which today only exists like with the Amish community or like in Afghanistan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So guys, you're gonna so if you want your son to have a good kid, you're gonna have to arrange him a marriage. You guys are gonna have to do that as a community amongst yourselves. But for right now, though, you're going to have to take a bad woman and you're going to have to teach her how to be good. And so you're going to look for two things. Number one, she's either willing or unwilling, right? Mm-hmm. So if she's unwilling, okay, break up with her and do it with another one, right? If she is willing, then cool. So this is the situation that we're in, right? So you have to teach a bad woman how to be good, and that's the situation. You're not going to find one. They don't become good on their own.
Yeah.
You just stumble across one like, oh, a good woman. Whoa,
I've interviewed 1,000. Maybe 10 I'd recommend to my brother. It kind of black-pilled me. Because I was like, granted, I was probably a lower quality a little bit because I'm in the city, but I'm like, then I would meet country girls and they say the same thing.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. So, so
less ratchet, but same thing.
Yep. So I listed like, here's some red flag. Like I listed Leora's like past experiences, so the guys like knew brass tacks what the details were. Check out other videos for more on that. Like, but my experience is a lot more. It's like what my number is a lot higher. Like I have a lot of experience with women, and I'm telling you, they're not different.
100?
They're all
300?
Not that high. But the point is, like, oh my gosh, I made it my life's mission to understand the female psyche at 11. I started like reading mental health magazines. Oh, I want to be one of the guys that the girls like. They all talk about. They all blah 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 blah. And what the takeaway is, guys, all women are the same. Like, you're not going to just magically find like a better one. Like she's only going to be good if you teach her from scratch to be good.
Right.
All they're going to be the same across the board. So my other like 3 long-term relationships, I found all of them at church, and they were horrible. They were awful.
I find them to be lower quality because they play pretend.
They do. Yeah. So my 3 longest relationships before Leora, they were the worst women ever. They look great on paper. Well, 2 look good on paper, 1 look horrible on paper. But like they were in church their whole lives. They were awful women. Absolutely horrible. Like Leora never went to church in her life before me, and she was like, everything I did failed. Yeah, teach me. Yeah, let's do it. Awesome. I would love to learn. And she has been wonderful ever since.
That's what I figured out too, was it's more about their demeanor than anything. It's not really about if they can cook. It's not really about their church. It's like, are they pleasant?
Yeah.
And you just gotta teach how to do. I mean, I don't know anything about dating women, don't get that from me. But like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing, we mentioned Gilead before because it was a very popular, The Handmaid's Tale was a very popular TV show. I think they're probably making another series, and it's actually women produced it, women directed, women act in it. It's actually a female fetish, but they're portraying people like us, who want to reestablish a biblical, more of a theocracy. We're going to bring in Gilead minus the handmaidens. That part is weird, but that's all like the women, actually. That's their fetish. But, we'll be the villains. You know, we'll be the villains for you. I love that song. I'm like,
Awesome.
I'll be
Yeah.
the villain. But like Joel's the governor, and you know, I think that Joel is a guy that guys can rally behind, and he would definitely like pick up that torch. But like, yeah, if you want us to be the villains, we'll be the villains.
Yeah.
Because you don't know right from wrong, so if you think it's wrong, it must be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. we'll give a shout out to Pearl. Like guys, if you're not watching Pearl daily every single day, you're missing out. Like she's the best. She's the best person in the space. Like, you know, oh my, like more of your subscribers should be watching you. Yeah, exactly. Like there's nobody else, even the guys that are doing it as well, like high quality, that are brass tacks, that know female psychology. So if you're not watching Pearl every day, you're really missing out. You should.
Thank you guys. Well, thank you so much for like having me here. This has been so great.
It was a pleasure. We're so excited.
You guys, you made a lot of stuff make sense, and sometimes I think I'm crazy. So when I find other people that kind of get it, I'm like, I should go talk to them.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Pearl. Like I was trying to talk to people about this going way back, like to the late '90s, and every time I brought it up, everyone was like, shut up, Joel, shut up. You know, like they just told me to shut up all the time. Like, okay, I tried to bring it up later again, and like, yeah. But
we're so proud of you.
Thank you. Well, we could. Well, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But it's gonna be kind of like a story vlog, so I actually don't need to end it here.
Okay,
cool. Yeah.
I just got on that.
Yeah.
Because
They're just like, we're so traditional conservatives, we want more government.
everyone's
Yeah, spontaneous.
everyone's talking about how I killed Lauren. So
You did.
fun.
No,
I've
yeah.
been waiting. She's been talking shit for a year. A year. She's
I love
been
it.
so
I love
many
it. You're
videos
doing it.
on me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You did awesome, Pearl.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'm done.
We were watching down here. We were yelling at the TV, you know, cheering for Pearl and Rachel. You know, oh my gosh, yeah.
A year video, Pearl, video. I did appreciate she did have my back with Nick Fuentes. I'll take it. She's not as bad as the whores, but God, I was so irritated.
But yeah, Lauren Shin is like the typical Republican or church woman though. She's playing both sides.
Well, what they'll do is they'll say, oh my gosh, they'll say, what do they say? They say, oh, Pearl, why don't you go in as hard on Islam women? I'm like, I don't know them as well. I know you bitches.
We live in the West. We're talking
I agree.
West. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're like, don't you have problems with Islam? I'm like, okay, I live near them, but I don't know a lot of Muslims. Like,
yeah.
they're
Like the
cool.
little girl that called in, but China. You're like, well,
I don't.
I've never really tried to speak to it. You know? Yeah. Like, you'll have to put that one on your own.
You guys need to use the bathroom?
I don't.
I'll use them. What's that?
Yeah, they giving you kudos? Are you getting hate?
No.
You did really well, I thought. I love how Lauren Shenson is so like vanilla, and you were bringing like the spice, as I say.
No, I was just because my energy, I give what people give me. I try to anyway, and sometimes I'm too nice. I think I need to be like fire.
Well, I could tell that you were like, Lauren, you're purposely trying to avert like the tough questions. You were like, okay, let's talk about Crowder. Like she was not going to bring that up.
Oh, I was. I because. No, and I'll bring it up if I see. I've met Candace once. I didn't have time, but if I ever have like a sit down with her, I'm bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know what I
They
get
were
it.
so wrong. And
I think-
you think he's a douchebag. That doesn't.
Well, I've been fooled by women before. I totally have. So why don't you just say that you were fooled and that he's not a, like. That's the honest part. The honest part is coming back and saying shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not abusive. I have to, I mean, we're raised in this society where we believe women. I don't necessarily fault them, but shit, when it comes out that the nanny says not abusive, nobody.
They don't know what abusive. I can't wait.
I feel freaking
guys-
proud of you for standing up for Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
When all the Republicans and church people threw him under the bus. So did you.
You know, I don't.
So. Oh yeah, guys. If you guys need bathrooms, please do.
Yeah,
right here.
I don't have to go, but
So.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, like we have a good friend, actually, Justin Dwayne Parker, and he has a YouTube channel and crickets right now. But he's fine. Like every guy really has to take personal responsibility. He said, "I'm not voting this election because, like they're not speaking a language I know." I don't understand this language that they're talking, and we think that people.
By the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to get us started?
Well, you're a man, so I would have assumed you would have been fine.
Sure,
You did the right thing.
But
25%.
okay.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, like the conservative guys are blaming it on men porn. They're blaming everything on porn right now. And he's like, that's just a way of bringing the responsibility back on the men. You know, they're like.
Let's keep talking about the grocery.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, for food, we can get you guys like more food to go if you like.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Dunkin' Donuts. You go through a drive-through. We're gonna get you like a caramel macchiato, right? That's it. Would you like anything here?
I think it's fine. We can just get I really just want coffee and then maybe I'm not too hungry.
We have like these bars, like there's
I'll take a bar.
Bars in the market.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We got all kinds of flavors.
Well,
We got strawberry.
You've seen your
Lemon.
fashion progression and everything.
We got chocolate chip. We got brownie.
can I have a chocolate chip and a brownie?
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
You bet.
You want a granola bar?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Yeah, these are
That's